Oh, they're already starting it.
Yep.
If RAD go for the instant ban
Okay,
on
let's see this
Elsa,
chat.
because the
I was
Na'Vi
writing my
winning ban
tweet
line
so I
at the
can
start of
go
the
back
match
to
was
it throughout the
Elsa
day.
into Mantis,
So I can tell you
into
guys that
Cap,
I am not a
into
curse.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Although it should be noted that VIRTUSPRO did win the first round of domination versus Na'Vi yesterday. We're going to get a Gambit save coming on through here from VIRTUSPRO, and again, something to talk about is the fact that Na'Vi let the Loki through. So do RAD go, oh, they're doing it, they're continuing it, we're moving away from the Loki and we're going for the Mantis ban instead. This is the true test for VP now. How far have you adjusted yesterday since that loss?
RAD going to protect themselves the Loki, not the Gambit, so this gives them options.
Okay, let's
for
see what
other
else, chat. What
copies
else?
in
What
the
else?
future. But VIRTUSPRO, they're sticking with the
what else? I need
earlier
to make a
bans that we
thread
did
for
see.
you
They will
guys.
take out that Gambit away from RAD. They don't want that double Raging Royal flush available, especially with Loki already hovering around here. There's also a little bit of protection against the dive, of course, that regeneration domain, to at least try and do something about Phi being a menace on that Daredevil if they decide to bring that out. Mantis will finally get taken away by VIRTUSPRO, meaning Invisible Woman has snuck through so far.
Yeah, this is the swerve, so we're not following line for line the Na'Vi ban line, but like with the Invisible Woman, oh well, yeah, that's why we're getting the Invisible Woman ban. Not only is she a very strong strategist because of just like the healing potential when all of your players are stacked up, but also the utility of things like Force Physics to counterplay the Wolverine. And we were talking about, you know, Crazy Kitty, Smash Naz. Both of these guys have a mean Logan to their name as Ducky's Groot. One of the rare instances that we get the Groot aura ban coming on through.
Okay.
So
Chat, I'm already happy, bro. I am already happy.
Instead.
Dude.
I really like this group ban. When we look at what RAD and especially
the group ban, you're happy about the group ban? No. I'm happy about the Elsa ban, chat.
It's very little deadlier than just having a Wolverine pick up one of your teammates, take them to your enemy, and then a wall being put up
Elsa ban.
between
Also,
them.
I'm about to post you guys my
Style,
predictions
being
for
strategist,
Twitter.
But in a 2-2-2
So
lineup
yeah,
with
if you
all
guys
those
want to
guaranteed
see
pick up each
all
time.
my things,
so not wanting to
right
deal
here,
with that will be taken away on both sides. No Groot available, but the thing will be protected in case Wolverine wants to enter the fray, and also for a little bit of counter Wolverine setup, as of course the thing, while vulnerable to percentage damage, does still have a fair amount of crowd control that, while Tenacity is not in the game in the patch we're playing on, is still going to be able to try and lock down Logan and slow down that assault, and of course can't get picked up.
Oh, VIRTUSPRO though, they were able to get Gambit, they're also able to get the Star-Lord. And that means that we can see Raging Royal Flush with Galactic Legend. RAD not going to be rolling out on the White Fox, even though Fight also got Daredevil through the ban draft at the moment too. So VIRTUSPRO are going to be playing with all of the information. Finzi also keeps the Captain America, something that Na'Vi were hell-bent on removing in every line of that draft. So we do have full dive composition coming on through from VP. Cap in first, create the space, Star-Lord and Daredevil to give both the information and the follow-up. So there's going to be a lot of pressure coming through onto Rad's backline. Lugia rolling out on the Thing, Ducky 2 on the Emma. This is very much understanding that VP will be coming for your backline and you have to guard it, to the point that we're even getting the Winter Soldier forward out from retirement and brought back into the composition while you still have your grounding effect on the Trooper's Fist.
Just when he thought he was out, he's been pulled right back in. But VIRTUSPRO going to be looking for those flanking opportunities. Let's see how good this backline protection is. Smashnez playing a little bit further up, just in case he is able to catch anyone out of position. There's also, this is pre the nerf to the cooldown of the Bionicle. Wolverine flying overhead, looking for an opportunity to try and grab someone.
I made a thread for us, chat. I made a thread for us.
Casualty in this fight, and that's exactly what RAD need to be doing.
What I really do like about Red is that they're coming out with the Bucky, chat.
Their backline, capitalize and take their man advantage. They're going to take the first percentage on the board and force VIRTUSPRO back into the corridor.
Full patience as well from Crazy Kitty. Like, the fact that the Wolverine is barely past 30% ult charge, but it's literally because you're waiting to see VIRTUSPRO try to make a move on your backline. You feel it, you get the elimination, and then
VIRTUSPRO
fight swapping, like you
is
said,
losing
onto the string
fights?
so that they can pour
No.
that pickup of the point itself.
I'll read you guys. By the way, King Heart, appreciate the math of 100 bits, my friend.
Onto the CD to enable RAD to move forward and take the space away from VIRTUSPRO. Saipei's also got copy.
And
This
by the
should
way,
be onto the
tune
Gambit,
up.
so we get Raging Roar Flush combined
We're
with
not
the
here.
Galactic Legend. Smashnez is going to be massively targeted, but the Trooper's Fist actually allows him to
Wow,
displace his
great
position back into the
teamwork by
Eternal Bond to get
Rad,
the heal
bro.
tick,
Countering
and
what
it's enough to
VIRTUSPRO is
live.
doing.
Dagger Storm's going to keep them topped up even through the anti-heal and that attempt at the Galactic Legend. Blaster Mirage, Crazy Kitty marking him though, chase him down. Feral Leap directly picks up Sparker.
Oh my
refusing to
god,
let him
I thought
escape
Sparker was
as
gonna
they
live,
chase
and
them
that
once again
leap
back to the
chasing him
corridor. Brad
looks
repel
that
the
looked like
portal
something in a movie.
re-engage, and they are holding this beautifully.
That was
chat.
VIRTUSPRO also using both
VIRTUSPRO,
casts
man.
of Raging Roar
Is
Flush.
VIRTUSPRO
both the actual Gambit
the
and
god
the
who's
Loki,
fallen?
So you don't have that to be
Is
able to
VIRTUSPRO
kickstart your
washed?
engagement in this next fight.
Is it because I
Ducky
started
with the Sound
rooting for them?
Seduction should be reacted to with the Meteor M coming on through from Finzi, but you're keeping your eye on Phi. Eye of Agamotto could be a huge opener for VP, but the Doctor Strange has to wait the Ember's cooldowns out. There's the walk up. VP will be able to survive, just pushing back into Saipei's regeneration domain, absorbing all of that incoming damage, funneling it back into ultimate charge so that they're one step closer to that one-sided Gambit ult copy. Sparker's got the ends on too, so we can see
this
the
is actually
Meteor
really
M
funny because I'm
combo.
gonna talk to
There
you
goes
guys
the
about
Phoenix
this.
ult onto
Oh, what a block,
That's
bro!
unfortunate, the map.
When your tank player jumps in the air like that and blocks it, ooh, and then slams down a reverse slam dunk.
The counter though is turning into a 2-for-2. The capitalization from Crazy Kitty with the last stand.
That was
Pressure onto the
disrespectful.
front line, trying to force them to back up. Even with triple Vanguards on the board, VIRTUSPRO just can't claim
what did I say
space.
about
They
this?
can barely touch the point due to the power that Crazy Kitty is outputting of catching people out of position. Ducky's on the flank, making it so that if Vinci steps up, he's at risk of being grabbed or just melted by that slowly charging up Emma Frost. You can see the attempt of Crazy Kitty just hovering above, seeing if there's anyone out of position. And Phi is about to have to pull off an Eye of Agamotto of their life to turn this round. A beautiful pick
Fat.
up over the barrier. to
Fat
make some space.
chat with a
Eternal Bond is still
PH.
gonna get a little bit of PH
Fat.
back to Vertigo, buying some time for Rad, but they're gonna have to give this over. But it's all
Morning,
on the
genuinely
overtime
can't believe
box.
you're up again. Of
Luigi
course,
goes actually
man.
on the Strange.
I told. How can I be the best watch
Do
party
they
if I'm
commit
not
the
here
Strange
for you
TP, or
guys?
did they try to walk up? The problem for them, it looks like they're actually going to go for it. If they can jump onto Dridro and just take down the
How many
Gambit
hours have you slept?
before
Oh,
he
the
gets
past 2 days, I
opportunity to
slept
cast
6
the
hours
ultimate.
each.
No, Raging Roar Flush
But we've been
comes on
live for
first.
almost
Smash
17
does
hours,
have
16
Kraken
hours.
Impact. Regeneration domain as well on the other side of the portal, unfortunately, means that Crazy Kitty has fallen. And I don't think, Rad are not going to commit to this. But what they've done, Tetchia, is they baited Gambit ultimate while holding theirs. You can walk forward with the Emma ult, or you can just go for a mash copy to lead your way in when VIRTUSPRO have to rely on the Meteor M shutting
Venom is a good
Mash's
pick. What do you think
ultimate
Venom is?
down. If he gets the Gambit ult copy
Venom's
up,
really
this
good.
could be devastating for VIRTUSPRO to have to deal with, but no, it's Eternal Bond, and it all comes down to Finzi. Can he find the angle to take the Eternal Bond down?
Finzi, come
Doesn't
on, bro.
match
Yo,
land the
VIRTUSPRO,
connection, doesn't have enough
I can't
charge.
believe I'm saying this,
Ducky
but
comes on
VIRTUSPRO
for
is,
Psionic
for my
Seduction.
first time,
Saipei's been able, though, to
not
build
looking like
up that
VIRTUSPRO.
copy onto the Raging Roar Flush, and VIRTUSPRO can hold their space and push back.
Here comes Ensong Inferno directly into the hallway to try and deal with them as they're grouped up. Ducky gets deleted. Lugia is looking not healthy. Neither is Crazy Kitty. Lugia gets healed up to full. Crazy Kitty not so lucky. And VIRTUSPRO, they are taking a beautiful hold here. There was so much discipline from Rad on that engage. Not a single charge onto Meteor
That
M.
is true.
No extra damage, and as
They
such,
are playing
Bash was able to
a lot of tank
survive it,
killers.
as they
Well,
were able
not
to keep
when
the
I.
fight going, but they just couldn't
They're doing a lot of
keep it
damage
going.
with
That
Phoenix,
second Raging
but
Roar
also
Flush
Crazy Kitty.
showed to be a bit
Wolverine
too
in this
much
tournament
damage.
has been
Vi is looking for a portal.
disgusting,
See if they can
chat.
maybe do a
Wolverine
wrap
has
around,
been
maybe catch someone out
disgusting.
of position and maybe get an early
Oh,
pickup,
it's the
or
block.
even just a block them off here to buy time on 93% to try and secure it in overtime.
No
Splits
way.
the
Did they hit the
team
block?
in two. They are completely zoned. Eternal Bond is going to be allowed
Oh
to
my
touch the
God.
point. Vertigo
What
walks out,
a
guaranteed them
smart
overtime.
play.
And there's the pickup from Crazy Kitty.
What
He makes
a
it through, but
smart
Sparker is
play.
uncontested in the
Portal
backline,
block
doing
them coming
huge
through
damage.
main.
Healing output
That is a
lot,
very
but
risky
Vertigo
play
cannot
because now you're not going to have
sustain.
Portal
Bash
to
is
come
so
back.
close
But
to
oh my
building up
God.
copy, but he has to copy someone on the side of VIRTUSPRO, and he will do so. It's Eye of Agamotto for the turnaround with the Loki copy, but it's a huge amount of damage from Nevix. A valiant attempt from Rad, but VIRTUSPRO take the 99 to 100
What a
flip.
play, bro. What a play. I can tell you can tell that I'm tired. VIRTUSPRO actually reverse swept that. I mean, they haven't won the round yet, but the match yet, but they won the round. Also, if you guys are following my Twitter, I made like a whole breakdown just so you guys can see that my thoughts are not curses.
opportunity of having the Wolverine play more.
Rad versus VIRTUSPRO 0-3. I think VIRTUSPRO's winning that. Fire against Shikigami, I think is going to be a really close game. 2-3. I think Shikigami's going to end up winning that, though. Team Heretics against Na'Vi, I think that's going to be the match of the day. It's going to still be a 2-3 to Na'Vi, because Na'Vi was the team that beat VIRTUSPRO. So I think they're looking really good, but that's going to be a cinema match. And then the to be determined is whoever loses between these two games, and I think it's going to be Rad versus Fire. Rad's going to win that. Rad is looking like a really great team. And then I said, I think VP is out for blood now. Fire and Shikigami will be a really close match, and Team Heretics against Na'Vi will be cinema. And then this is the NA games, and I'll get to that after. So if you guys want to talk about like the games, I'm probably gonna put all my thoughts and stuff there.
Into a triple Vanguard composition, it could be huge. High ground.
YWL beat the shit out of Lunex every time. Nah, bro.
Immediately,
did you see YWL play yesterday?
To the edge, and it's perfect. Finzi is delivered
YWL yesterday was playing like a coughing baby against Atomic Bomb.
Though, Benjamin Grimm going to be tanking it on through, as immediately Saipe is going to try and commit this. Even though they're a member down, they want to try and flip this, taking out Ludia Gold nice and early with the extra damage from that Raging Royal Fluff God of Mischief copy. It's enough to control the point, but Crazy Kitty.
Oh my God, Crazy Kitty is just farming right now.
But numbers are pretty heavily favor of VIRTUSPRO, but Rad are still claiming the point. They're on 19% here. Smashnez takes out Dridro, and somehow, despite going down numbers earlier, Lugia portals them back in, and they're sustaining.
Yeah, they've got the TP coming on through from Lugia. They've still got players as well because they get to come through that TP. Sparker has to be addressed here on the high ground at some point, especially when the Seraphim shield from the Doctor's range breaks. But at the moment for Rad, you don't want to overplay your angle. You're waiting for Mash to be able to get this Loki ult up. VIRTUSPRO, understanding the hesitation, decide to take first turn and matters into their own hands instead. Out comes the clobbering time from the Thing's hands, but Vertigo dodges it with the Eternal Bond, and Rad, not able actually to complete holding, are just going to give this up, lose the fight quickly, hold on to the rest of their ultimates, and make sure that VIRTUSPRO can't farm both
today's
point
the last day of the
percentage
J3
as well
watch
as
party?
ultimate acceleration gain.
Tomorrow it continues, chat. Tomorrow's the grand finals of the preseason.
To get reset as quick as possible. They don't have.
I think you have the upper bracket finals and the lower bracket semifinals, or lower bracket finals, and then you get the upper bracket finals.
Same composition for now. No adjustments here. But Rad, they're built up to a last stand. They have themselves a God of Mischief, so they can try and steal once again their own Eternal Bond, or they could try and steal Dridro if they can get close enough to him. Or Crazy Kitty could literally steal Dridro if he's able to find a good angle with that Wolverine. But now Copy's going to come in. He actually got it! Mash with the Raging Royal Flush commits to the in-game for the side of Rad. So it's introduction to
huge play by Mash, actually.
VIRTUSPRO, and it works out beautifully.
Huge play by Mash.
No
way.
And Rad are taking back control. 50-50 for these teams.
Rad has Gambit banned, but Mash somehow find Dridro to get their own Gambit to throw down. Oh my God.
Gambit, as a Crazy Kitty's actually just going to be utilizing the first-person POV
That's
to
insane.
scout around the corner, read out where VIRTUSPRO are coming from, if they're coming from main, or if they're going to try and sweep out this high ground. We get the Gambit ult, Copy coming on through from the side of Saipe. Smashnez actually holds them at the pass with the Endsong Inferno, and that allows Crazy Kitty in melee range to catch the mag. Massive Endsong Inferno detonates from Sparker, though. No chance for Rad to be able to break the summon in time, since the rest of the team was still playing on the low ground, on the point itself. And VP with player advantage just have to finish off these last players on Rad's end before Vertigo gets that Eternal Bond or has a Vanguard to actually have the confidence to commit to the ultimate. There we go. Point flips on the side of VP, but Techa, Rad are about to be coming on through with uncontested Eternal Bond sustainability.
Wow.
So VIRTUSPRO,
I'm very impressed with Rad.
And try to force the dashes out early.
You can see Dridro and Nevix hovering together. They've got clobbering time and the anti-heal from the Spade deck for Dridro, so they could try and use that for a quick blow-up if they're able to catch them out of
I am very impressed with Rad right now.
They're able to pull back. They're able to pull it as a group, making sure that we do not see any isolation onto Vertigo, who is set up. You can see them in cloak form there, getting ready for the ultimate, so they can fade out. But Lugia's already taken down before the ultimate comes out, so they lose the healing. Ducky drop low as well. Fi retreating with the Cloak of Levitation to make sure that they're not caught out of position from Crazy Kitty, who's trying to play onto the high ground with the last stand to take out the backline. Dridro is finished off immediately. Fitzy with the Meteor M to try and take out one of the backline, but it's all about Sparker, who's taken advantage of the chaos and is just landing flames from the backline here.
Bro,
Huge amounts of damage.
Crazy Kitty's make. Oh, I was about to say Crazy Kitty's making me want to learn Wolverine, man.
Bit longer, and RAD, they may have to see if that portal's off cooldown at this point, because Raging Royal Flush comes on out from Mash. Portal comes in.
Yo, production,
5.
where's the sound at?
Going even longer, return to the fight. Type with their own Raging Royal Flush as Ducky's trying to prevent the follow-up, but gets deleted by Dridro, and VIRTUSPRO are controlling this fight beautifully. RAD just don't have the numbers on the reinforcements. Dark Force teleport comes out purely for style points as VIRTUSPRO control map number 1 and take the first point.
Huge players.
That is insane. Okay, chat, to finish this off, for NA games, we have Lunex against YWL. I do have Lunex winning this because Lunex actually did really well against Swamp Gaming, and Swamp Gaming, I think, is the best team in NA. Sentinels against 100 Thieves. I have 100 Thieves winning that. Sentinels looked really good yesterday, but I think 100 Thieves needs to get their shit together. Actually, I made a mistake. 3-2 Sentinels wins because 100 Thieves doesn't know how to ban Elsa.
But that same luxury is not afforded to the rest of the team, so multiple times when RAD
and then Swamp Gaming against Team Liquid Citadel. I think Team Liquid Citadel and Swamp Gaming is going to be the match to watch. That is basically the two best teams in the group stage. That's going to be insane. And then I think the to be determined is going to be Lunex and Sentinels, which Sentinels is going to win 1-3. And then I said my little summary right there. Lunex has been showing like a really great team while YWL was lost yesterday. Sentinels was a great showing yesterday while 100 Thieves had a rough one, but I believe they'll turn it around today. Swamp Gaming versus Team Liquid Citadel will be again Cinema. And that's basically where I'm going to put all my... that's going to be basically where I ramble on Twitter. Oh. Wait, need to change TBD then? It's going to be Lunex against 100 Thieves. Is it really? No. Because is it... That doesn't make any sense because isn't... No, Lunex, these are the two teams who are in the lower bracket. If Lunex wins and 100 Thieves wins, they play against each other, don't they? Yeah, Swamp Gaming and Team Liquid Citadel, they're not gonna... Yeah. Yeah, no. They're talking about RAD versus Fire. Wait. You said RAD versus Fire, but if they lose, they just get eliminated? Chat. The to be determined is the two... Oh, shit. Wait, you are right. Wait. Wait, you are right. How do you edit? How do you edit? Wait, you can't edit? Oh shit, how do you edit? How do you edit? You can't edit? What kind of shit is this? No. Edit. Let me see if I can edit on my phone. You can't edit, bro? No. Okay, I'm gonna copy all this and then I'm gonna post it again. No way.
The hunt is on. 1,000 gods!
Hold up. I gotta, dude, this whole thing got fucked.
RAD at least leading a line first when it comes to domination, but losing out on VIRTUSPRO that haven't lost this game mode since the end of last year because of Na'Vi and Crisis, and we don't know where Crisis is. Stop asking us. Hopefully we'll see him in the future. Here, though, it is going to be RAD choosing Central Park as a map, which, like you mentioned, Tetcha, was very close the last time that they played up against VIRTUSPRO. The problem was just how those overtime defenses went, because they also showed up poorly against Shikigami in the playoffs a couple of days ago. So this feels like RAD need to tighten up how they play defensively, Sentinels, because their offense is pretty good.
Yeah, we're starting to see a theme with a lot of these teams where it's like, oh, we triple capped and we got triple capped. Attack, chill. We love our dives, we love our brawls, we love our
Sentinels. Like Sentinels and 100Ds are in the lower bracket, yeah.
But when it comes to trying to hold the position, we've started to see teams
and then this
struggle
is
a little bit.
VIRTUSPRO
to try and work that out, and they've had over 2 weeks almost since they last played VIRTUSPRO in that situation to try and adjust from that as well. So they've got a little bit of time to see if they have locked that down a little bit more. Anything they would have tested going up against VP the first time got retested against Shikigami. Let's see what they finally come out with.
I wonder if the sort of draft ideas are going to change a little bit so far when you've got RAD having a bit more focus on getting Mantis to play like triple strategist here, Moxie. I think the question I had for you has a lot to do with Hell's Heaven, where we saw the first Protect, not only an EMEA of Thing, but across Ignite right at the end. And I think it's an interesting head-to-head because Nevix has been known to play the Thing pretty well, but also Lugia was dedicating a lot to it consistently across their
I think I fixed it.
When they were knocked down to the losers bracket.
I fixed it. I fixed it.
Tell about like the focus there, because we do sometimes see it on Central Park too.
I mean, Thing is really, really strong as a Vanguard because, like, you have damage reduction, you have high mobility.
Yo, D-Bird, appreciate the massive 5 with subs, my friend. Absolutely insane. Appreciate it.
To be able to not jump to your teammates or to your enemies, and you also get to play around like corner cover. So if you're trying to play something like the Thing, you shouldn't be standing out in open space.
Audio only most of the day. Thank you, Jay, for all you're doing.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Part of your hitbox around the corner, and then use the third-person POV to understand when to lead your punches with your primary, connecting onto multiple players as they try to round those areas.
I think when it comes to looking at the draft as well, one aspect of it was obviously the one-sided gambit that VIRTUSPRO were able to get. And there was a one-sided Invisible Woman that didn't see any action from RAD. I guess it was just a case of
good morning, YouTube. Sorry, I was fixing my tweet.
They were more dedicated to getting the low-key cloak and dagger so they could just keep going in for these dives. I guess I'm not going to ask
what do you think about Bucky after the nerf? I think I have a video coming out, or
on the side of RAD. Who needs to
I played it on Wednesday.
I think Smash missing the Elsa a little bit. I don't think he's going to get his hands on it today, though.
Probably not. I think there's a good chance it will.
It's so weird not to have an edit button on social media. I think they do it because I think they don't have an edit button on social media because if you
if they could get their hands on the Groot again, it's a fantastic Groot map in terms of being able to
I don't know.
Especially on that first point, you can just get a huge amount of value by utilizing those tunnels where the defense tries to retreat into on attack.
I think they don't have an edit button on social media because if you say
Ducky onto that could be delightful. I'm pretty happy for them to continue with the Wolverine. No complaints there. That's been delightful and has been a fantastic tool for them.
Let's just say I made a tweet saying I like birds, and then you like that tweet, and I changed it to I like feet, and then everyone will see that you like that tweet, but they didn't. They're not going to see that you said that you liked I like birds. Instead, now it says I like feet. So what do you do?
Being more available, like Lugia is playing a little less rogue. It's been banned out more. Nevix is now starting to bring up a lot more of the Venom and Angela.
You can't see liked tweets anymore? Really? GG's chat. That sucks.
We haven't seen that so far today. Wasn't touched in the draft. It feels like there's so many options for Vanguards to be playing with, to the point that now
retweet it then. Nah, bro, I'm done. GG's.
That there's just like a lot more bodies to get on objectives. That seems to be the win call.
Yeah, I think like one of the big changes I really hope that we see RAD make, though, in regards to those Vanguards, is just being able to time the strange TP recontests. Like, a lot of the reason why Tetcha was talking about, we've seen these teams like really, really good at attack, and then they go to the other side, they have to defend, and it just looks entirely opposite of what they were able to pull off before. And a lot of it is coming down to the fact of, like, people are just taking really weird mistimed fights where they're going into an all-out contest, they're mistiming the strange TP regroup recontest, which then bleeds into the setup that they have available available for first fight on second, and if you're not able
Establish
to
dominance
anchor
by
your
doubling
composition as a
down.
defense
Oh, yeah,
around that corner, it becomes very problematic for you to actually establish any form of hold to win one fight, which is all you need on Central Park. Like, when you go onto second, all you need as a defense is one fight that you win, and then you get to close hold the attackers spawn, and they get forced into having to burn ultimates, burn time. They have zero map control too, because you have to just like go and take all of those angles, both main, flank, wraparound rotations. You have
Bet
none
J
of it
Bucks you
available
take a
the moment
nap
you step
today.
out from your spawn, and
Oh,
it really
trust me,
does
bro,
like
I won't
bleed
take
a
a
lot
nap
of time
today.
out of the bank. But multiple times now in the past, RAD have mistimed those TP plays and haven't had the
Yo,
opportunity
what's
to
up?
use
Yo, what's up,
second
Kings?
to burn the time down if teams make it to third. So I think for me, I'm really hoping that's one of the areas that RAD have gone
I find it
back
funny that
at
more people tune
and
into your watch
looked at
party than
very
they do on the official
specifically.
Marvels page.
The fact that they're taking us to
Not on
Central Park
Twitch.
gives me
Marvel
hope
Rivals has
in that
more on
department.
Twitch. YouTube maybe, but
Has to be an adjustment. I
no,
suppose,
not
too,
on
yeah.
not on Twitch.
I think because on that subject, it's weird texture that like
Hey,
RAD are making those kind
but
of, like,
we are
lack of coordination
trying to
Considering that
overcome
this
the
team
Marvel
brings together
Rivals
for the
space,
right
bro.
time.
You guys
Certainly
got to
the
spread
Vanguard
the
as well.
word.
One of the other things I wanted to highlight is that we have the
J3 watch
head-to-head
party.
with
You gonna be there?
or two
Hand
of
out
the
flyers. Hand out
serving,
flyers.
like,
J3 watch
Vanguard
party?
duos of
J3 watch
Benji
party?
and Nevix versus Ducky and Lugia. There's probably some that sort of beat them out for time because we haven't seen much like Ducky recent, like up until the start of this stage, because we missed him in stage 2 of last year. But it's the fact that he's been playing with Lugia since like the Invitational in part, so it feels like that's an interesting look in of like how the front lines are going to deal with the pressure. Certainly when it comes
I told
to
everyone
there being
about
more
J3
flexible
watch party at
options.
work and I got fired. Thanks, bro.
But you
They
bring up the
figured
fact that
out, they
these
found out that you were a
teams
Daredevil
have been
player,
together, but
one
the
trick,
coordination has
especially.
just come
And they
down
were
to
like,
it. It
yeah,
comes
you know
down
what? We
to
need
the
more
whole team.
flexibility in
We
this
talk about how a
workplace.
lot of these
You're
players
out.
play together on
You're
different
out.
teams, but when you look at how
Out.
long VIRTUSPRO have been together, it's like they're a whole new team in comparison. Whereas RAD have only come together into this form.
We
in
need
MRC
flexibility in
for
this workplace.
tournament, for Ignite qualification. Whereas VIRTUSPRO have been essentially the exact same with minor changes since Team Cats in Season 0 MRC, which they won, as with every other tournament outside of Ignite Stage 1. They've been together that entire time in terms of...
Do you
keeping them
think
longer.
better
It's
/ longer
Ignite
drops
Day.
would help viewership?
I'm gonna say,
Probably.
like,
A lot of
attacking
esport
first,
games
attacking
now,
side isn't too
when they're having a
worried
tournament,
about it.
do
It's maybe their
drops
defense. Take it away, guys.
to boost their viewership.
Also right away.
I mean, it's
That's
smart
not
at the same time, but it also
Yeah.
makes it look like
I
it's
mean,
inflated.
we said we
But
don't think that the Elsa will get through the ban draft, and it does seem that it's now in that space. And it's really like strange as well, because when we talked to players the first day of playoffs, they were like, yeah, you know what, the meta's moved, ban draft, it's Gambit instant ban now, Elsa save, and we're back again on the Elsa instant ban into, well, not a Gambit save yet again. RAD are really like wanting to be able to
Oh, wait,
prioritize this
did
Loki
you
pick
post your
coming
bingo
on
card
through,
to my thing?
which means that VIRTUSPRO will ban out the
you can
Gambit.
post
And
it to
honestly,
my,
like, this is a
to a
move we're starting
reply
to
on
see
my,
from
predictions
more
today.
teams. You're okay with letting the Loki through and the Gambit from the other team, because it just means that, yeah, you get Gambit banned out, but as long as you have a God of Mischief copy and direct line of sight onto the Gambit,
Okay, let's see
you still
this
get
chat.
the Raging Roll flush through, and that's the most broken element of Gambit's kit.
It's so much extra damage, it's mobility. If you get walled off, you can jump over it. It's still one of the best ultimates.
I think
in
better
the
and
game.
unique drops would help too.
Seeing
Yeah,
Hover on
but
Groot by
I
Rad,
do
but it looks
think
like
better
VIRTUSPRO
drops
might
would make more
finally
people
be
watch
done
the
with
games, but at
Wolverine.
the same
They
time,
gave that away. And honestly,
I mean,
really
it's
like
free
it. Just considering
skins,
how
so
much Rad have been looking
I don't
at it, leading on it,
I don't
and
really complain about
forcing
free
their opponents
skins.
to
So
react around it, and also
there will be
scoreboard
people who
of the
complain
last
about
game.
like free
He
skins.
was a
Like
menace.
imagine having a
Solid release.
imagine having a person that's like, hey
Oh,
bro,
VIRTUSPRO
can I
also
borrow
getting the Loki
5?
for a night.
You give
This
him
is where it
5, and
becomes
he's
a
like,
little
what the
bit more
fuck, dude?
problematic
Why
for
not
RAD to have to
20?
deal with,
And you're
because
like,
you'll get one cycle of Gambit.
Take the
Ultimate.
5,
VIRTUSPRO
bro.
will have 2.
Be happy.
So what they can actually start doing is they can open up a fight with a Gambit ultimate, or probably the Loki copy of the Gambit ultimate, and then force RAD to have to burn their God of Mischief onto the Raging Roll Flush copy, and then you have second uncontested Raging Roll Flush for the fight that goes into second stage. But we're getting one-sided Groot on the side of RAD, and I mean, that does like potentially pose a problem. This is Central Park. This is one of Groot's best maps, especially when you're holding that defensive first, being able to wall off players, split off the Vanguards. It's also going to force a Mantis ban
Virtus
late
Pro
on the
banned
side of
Wolverine
Virtus Pro so
from
that you don't get
RAD
the
because
full team up of
Crazy
the
Kitty's
Loki,
Wolverine
Mantis, and Groot
is kind of
combined, but
crazy.
RAD still have options open if they want to go for something like the Loki, Invisible Woman, Ultron for a triple strategist line. They absolutely can.
I was very worried that they might leave that Mantis up, but it's a solid ban, like you say. While you don't have it for a potential Ultron team-up, you do still have Invisible
Okay,
Woman,
chat, let's see
but
this.
the damage boost could also have been utilized in other compositions as well. So taking that away, and of course that Deitific Vitality and the Vibrant Vitality with the Groot for extra healing output on your defense can be so hard to deal with. RAD, we'll talk about it if it makes it out of spawn, but it looks like they are at least considering an option of bringing out that Ultron for attack. Whereas VIRTUSPRO, they are looking at potential Gambit style, but they're making sure they're armored up first, as we are seeing a little bit of rocket armor being delivered. And
I really like this map. This map is pretty cool. This map reminds me of like a World of Warcraft like raid.
And Wolverine.
I imagine if VIRTUSPRO see that we get the Torch Ultron committed on the side of RAD, and they are on the attack, so they can like go see the composition that VP are on, go back to spawn if they feel like it's not a good matchup into that composition without losing a fight. But if they stick with it, VIRTUSPRO at some point will be swapping to that Star-Lord, given the fact that we have 2 casts of Gambit Ultimate to be able to empower that Raging Royal Flush. This was what I was worried about when I saw the save onto
You
Ducky's
can
group,
just
is going
post
to
the
on
bingo
Wolverine.
card
This is
on
something
Twitter.
that he's been picking
I
up
would
a
love
little
to
bit
see it,
more
and
of
I'm
this
pretty sure
week,
a lot
and
of
if he
people
can
else
get
would
the
see it
grab
on Twitter.
onto the Groot, or potentially the Flyer, then
You
this
could
could be
you could
huge.
repost it.
Great counter pull
You could
coming
repost
onto
it
on
to
side of Rad
the
that
tweet I made about the
just
esports
whip
games.
out on getting the connection onto Crazy Kitty.
That's exactly why we saw Invisible Woman banned out from RAD last time, so that they could have more freedom. Vertigo with the perfect pickup. But while they don't get the grab onto Ducky, they are able to get the pickup. That's a nice blow from VIRTUSPRO.
Also, it
the
is very
momentum and
interesting
keep a hold
that
of it.
RAD is not banning like the Gambit, or I mean, they're letting Loki Gambit go through.
They've got the rogue,
And
so they can
also,
dive
with
in once
Gambit,
again.
you're
Fire,
allowing
it looks
Rogue
like
to
RAD
get
is
through.
gonna be adjusting themselves here. Full compositional adjustment. Not wanting to deal with those fires. They realize that they might have to deal with Wolverine.
Ooh, I really do like the team to go back and try to fix things. Do something different. Change your comp around. I really do like that about that team.
What VIRTUSPRO have is 2 casts of Gambit Ultimate in 1 fight already. Dridro's got Raging Royal Flush, and VIRTUSPRO will just use it to go in. RAD have no defenses outside of this regeneration domain, but that's going to be crumpled up and discarded very, very quickly.
Wow.
This is just a one-sided fight coming on through from the side of VP. RAD will take it, will lose it fairly quickly, and come back into this next one. But like we said,
Pros.
you don't just have to worry about one cycle of that Gambit Ultimate. Saipe is going to have his, and
Virtus Pro
potentially
looks
that's going
too
to pair
good,
with
man.
Nevix on the Rogue to have that Heartbreaker.
Yeah,
and
Moon
hit into
Knight's
Rad's
really
backline
good,
before Mash
especially
can
what
find a
Virtus
copy.
Pro is doing, because they're playing like a little death brawl, and then you also have a Loki. So if you're not careful, Moon Knight can farm Loki clones.
Here they come. Raging Royal Flush. Round 2, just as RAD step into a position where it's going to be extremely hard to retreat. Kraken Impact to make sure that they're going to clean this up, taking out the Loki clones on the way through. Trooper's Fist, and they don't get the full team wipe this time, but what they do get is another full delay with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining, while as Dridro is halfway towards Raging Royal Flush number 3.
Well, RAD have Strangling Prison and Hand of Conchu, all Kraken Impact. They have 2 ways that they
I
can
am
try and follow
surprised
up,
that Bucky's being
VIRTUSPRO
used this.
understanding this could have Nevix just hit in before RAD make the push to drain those.
This is my
cycles,
favorite
or
Bucky
they
map,
can
bro.
just split their
This
team
is
so
my
that precious
favorite
few
Bucky
people
map.
actually get caught out, and the rest of the team are able to survive. Mash gets the copy onto the Gambit with the God of Mischief, and we see the Hand of Conscience used not with the Grid Ultimate, but to cut off the disengage. Brilliant wall from Ducky, stops VP from being able to play from behind point and look for a recontest opportunity with that Heartbreaker empowering their walk up. Finzy's going to go onto the Strange for the teleport. Nevix comes on through with the Heartbreaker, Rad having to make a big step backwards, but unfortunately it did connect onto the Invisible Woman, and they've lost Smashness to that Bucky before the boundary can save them.
And now with the portal coming back in, it's a 6 versus 5 in favor of VIRTUSPRO until Smashness can rejoin the team. Sparker has a beautiful and another numbers advantage. He takes
Good
down
find, good find, good find. Wow, VIRTUSPRO coming back and holding it.
They have a follow-up. Vinci playing like he has Ayavagamoto, but it's a follow-up for the Gambit to push on through to just get another team.
Jay, did you get any sleep? Yeah, I've been getting 6 hours every night. I don't know how people can function on 6 hours. Or even less.
They do have Smashness in position to potentially.
Now I can understand why people like coffee so much if it gets them throughout the day, but I mean, I don't want to drink coffee because coffee's ass.
Take it out immediately. Ayavagamoto at the portal entrance to take out the healing. Smash is down, Kenny's down, Lugi is down, and VIRTUSPRO are about to full hold RAD.
Well, I mean, Na'Vi poked the bear. And
Finzi is just standing there menacingly looking through the portal, bro. Like,
they have
come out
to
here.
Play, and they're managing to complete the full hold on Convergence versus RAD with different
You get
compositions
6 hours
too, like
how?
getting the Loki Gambit.
The
When we
stream
saw
last
that
night
in
ended
the
around
save slot,
1:30.
it
I
was
went to
like,
bed at
okay,
2.
how
I
are
wake up
Rad's going
around
to be able to
8.
beat this? And
Yes.
VIRTUSPRO just did a
Two-
very good
2 to 8,
job
6
of
hours.
being able to hold close and always
I
determine
woke
the
up today
tempo.
actually like
they
at
had the Gambit
8:30,
uncontested,
and then I
so
had
you
to
get
take
to
a
go
shower and all
through.
that stuff.
The ultimate acceleration gain, that means that VIRTUSPRO are the ones benefiting from
Yeah,
the
it
ultimate
ended almost at, like,
economy,
2 a.m.
As opposed to RAD, who that fight was so one-sided, they lost it so quickly. They don't
What do we
even
think about
really benefit from
pre-workout?
the amount
No.
of damage
I don't do
that they're
pre-workout.
taking to build up their strategist ult. So the next time VIRTUSPRO are ready with Loki copy Gambit ultimate,
do not like
RAD
pre-workout.
also have nothing to be able to deal with it, and it gets to the point that they just have to try and swap up their composition, play the group, play the Moon Knight, but we don't even really get to see that come through in full because they still have to deal with the strange teleport, stall out, the Loki regeneration domain, VIRTUSPRO.
Do you not
just giving
shower?
up a
Yeah,
little
that's why
bit
I
of the
woke up.
point to
Chat,
come
that's why I said I
back
woke
in
up at
with
like
yet
8:30
again
today.
A Gambit ultimate to rebuff
Wake
RAD.
up, take a shower, and get on stream.
Don't expect that to see it make it out of spawn, but we would love
The
to.
3 S's.
Decide to bring out the Mr.
Shit,
Fantastic.
shower,
Whereas
shave.
RAD, like you say, how do we adjust? And the answer is they're just going to try the same thing, but with a bit more prep this time to try and outspeed the Gambit charges. Start off with the Groot early, try and build up that charge. They have Moon Knight, they're going to be able to capitalize off of Saipe, see what they can do with this. However, Fi looking to try and shut that down early with the help of Nevix, bringing out the Wolverine, they have the jump pad, they have the Gamma fastball, they're going to try and pick off Ducky early, which is why Ducky's staying so close to that Ironwood wall, making sure that they have some CC immunity.
Well, the good thing for RAD is that they were able to pick up ticks on the point. It's not a case of if VIRTUSPRO get on point, you have to hold your ground and fight it. So if things go a little bit south in this first fight,
Oh, the
the
Moon
point.
Knight
At the
coming
moment,
out
they're just
from
playing the
both
spam angles from lane.
teams.
Like you said, with this Moon Knight,
Interesting.
Groot's really defensive as a character, and you can literally
We
just
are
have Ducky wait
seeing
around that
the
corner.
moon.
But no one's clearing out fight at the moment, and this is getting very dangerous. If this Wolverine is able to find a grab onto a strategist with the rocket boots, this could be absolutely devastating for Rad's team to have to deal with. He's looking for his opportunity, takes the high ground. Vertigo has to be ready. This Invis has to get the counter pull with force physics, or Rad will lose a player.
Mag's up there with him, so they're in position to try and engage onto this. Vertigo is currently the one playing close enough to it, so he could be the one who gets caught in it if they're not careful. Here comes Raging Royal Flush, number one, with immediate drop of the hand of Conchu for the commitment, and the Banhammer from the Deadpool to try and hold this match. There's barely surviving up to the main engage, and this time VIRTUSPRO's initial engage is repelled, at least temporarily, but now they're fighting in the neutral, trying to get into that backline with Nevix, with that Gambit team up a huge amount of extra burst damage. Enough to take down Vertigo.
Man.
Crazy Kitty is picked off by Cypher. Sparker's on a Moon
Do you
Knight
guys
on
ever
his
wonder
own.
how it
That's a
feels to get
beautiful
punched by
choke
Rogue?
point. The deflections are coming up dividends, and suddenly VIRTUSPRO have so much control. They get Kraken, Impact, Smash. This cleans out too. They've got a touch because it's right on the limit, and Loki is gotta be getting out of there, or that could be resets, utilizing the group wall for at least a little bit of protection as VIRTUSPRO are still contesting this.
Royal Flush from Dridro. Mash gets the copy, but not onto the Gambit. Invisible
Nice.
Woman, unfortunately, two
I think this
are
might be game, though,
outside
chat.
of
This
the
might be game.
boundary. Mash
Yep.
goes down too, which means Boundary falls, and Rad might be falling alongside it. VIRTUSPRO are able to complete the push. I really like the vision coming through from Rad's comp. The fact that they knew that Wolverine could be a problem. They're playing the group, but instead of leaning onto Lugia
No,
going
I said
for
Rad was
the
going to
thing,
beat
which
them
is more
0.
immune to the Wolverine
lose
Thrasher.
0-3.
They decide to field him onto the Vanguard Deadpool instead, because out of every hero in that lobby, he's the one who can actually keep pace with the Gambit build-up of Raging Roll Flush alongside that Loki. So we got
I
to
wish
see
they
the
had
banner,
Ryan
we got
Reynolds
to see it
voice
being utilized in
Deadpool
full, where Rad can just have the
in the
hand of
game,
Khonshu,
or have a skin
the
for each
ban
character
hammer.
in
When
MCU
VIRTUSPRO
where
tried
their
to make that
actors
first
are,
move
that
with
would
the
go
Raging Roll
crazy.
Flush, Rad have means
That sounds
at
like
their
a
disposal
lot of
to
money.
be able to live the first stages of that
I don't-
fight. It was,
I don't
again,
even
just the
want to
problem
know
of
how much you
what
would get
happens
paid
next, right?
to
Nevix
do a
on the
voice
road
get
has
for the
Hobbs'
game.
one coming
See,
up for
this is
Drizzle,
what's wrong with
Catch
actually
Daisy,
getting
which
the
means that
actors to
Vanguard
voice
damage
act
in
and
neutral
for a
before
game.
you even
Because
equate
if a
the
new character
ultimate
gets out, you
potential
need
is so
you
high
need
that
the
if they
voice
get
actor
into
to
that
always
pipeline,
be ready
Rad will
and
very
like
quickly fall.
record some new lines. Getting Ryan Reynolds or the voice or the actors that actually play those characters are never going to happen. I'm pretty sure they're too busy doing other stuff.
But Rad just unable to keep
Yeah,
up with
that will be way too much money, man.
in this best of five
Plus,
series. One
yeah, when a new
away
character comes out, especially every month, you're going to need to record new voice lines, new interactions, new stuff with that character or the previous characters. There's no way. And I think the voice actors that they're getting for Marvel Rivals already are some of the best voice actors. So they don't need the actual people.
Manage to win out the next map and continue in the series, or will VIRTUSPRO close us out 3-0? We'll be back with the next map after this break.
We'll be back with the next map after this break. Yeah, I mean the DD voice actor is fucking sick. Isn't the DD voice actor like literally the guy who? Wait, no, it wasn't DD. It was Deadpool. The Deadpool's voice actor is a voice actor from one of the animes that I fucking love. I don't know too much about the DD voice actor, but he's awesome too. Wait, no, what anime was he in? Is it DD too? Daredevil is his solo leveling, and then
Watch out, they're
and
heading our way.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Oof.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, but if a celebrity from Marvel Rivals shouts out the game, the amount of traffic would be insane. Those celebrities don't do anything. You're gonna have to pay them to say the name of your game, and I'm pretty sure to say that you're gonna need to pay them, if not millions, hundreds of thousands. Did you know the Magneto's voice actor voiced in the voice of Minions? That's funny. Whoa, 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 whoa. Zed pretty openly supports Overwatch and he's a big name. Zed did play a lot of Overwatch until, Overwatch never did a collaboration with him, and then he moved on to Valorant, and Valorant actually gave him a skin bundle, and he played a lot more Valorant than he did Overwatch now, so. I'll check it out. I wanted to see it on Twitter so everyone else could participate. But, yeah, I'll check it out. Charlie Cox said it was cool in an interview. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Also, someone said Solo Leveling is an ass anime. Season 1, Solo Leveling, absolutely cinema. Season 2, I don't like it. It's like, nah, I don't like it. Bro, like, season 1, I love seeing the character go through all this stuff, you know, having a struggle and all this stuff. Season 2, I think it's ass. Do I think the action is cool? Yeah, but now season 2, the character is so monotone and he's too fucking cocky for me to like him now. Season 1 was like, oh yeah, let's go. We have to go over this hurdle together. Season 2 is, yeah. Oh, you like someone else that's strong for a very long time that had to get strong over time comes over and says, hey, how are you? He's like, yeah, don't talk to me, bro. Listen, you don't want to fight me. Oh, you want to fight me? Oh, I'm too strong for you. Haha. Oh yeah, bro. I have a massive ego, man. You don't want to fight me, man. Oh, I'm the best. Like, oh, bro, I hate it.
Sure, we didn't see much of Central Park. They got full held, and then VIRTUSPRO able to make it 2-0.
We were talking about how these teams have incredible aggressive setups and how they've been able to triple push basically every single time. And we broke that curse. Cast a curse in a full swing today as just...
Chat, there's a difference between me joking around and having a great time with you guys and him actually being serious.
What do you have to deal with it? They started to work out how to deal with it, but by that point it was far too late. As we looked at Yggdrasil next.
Hot take, solo leveling, great anime chat. Like I said, hot take.
Oldest team in Marvel Rivals esports on the oldest map, Moxie. It's a map that we haven't seen RAD actually play on at all, so it's them sort of...
Wait, hold on. I'm going to give you guys a hot take. I just got to remember the name.
But on the subject of cards, when you have Gambit on the other team and then a Loki copying the Gambit, so there's like 2 sets of cards held close to the chest, it feels that VIRTUSPRO are going to be leading the line with where these fights are happening and when, just because they can.
Not just that too, but also Rogue and Magneto. And if they wanted to, Star-Lord as well. Like, I feel like when RAD go into like the ban draft, this I think is one of the reasons why a lot of people wanted to just take the Gambit out in the instant ban first, so you don't have to weigh up like, do we take out the Rogue? Do we now have to take out the Star-Lord? And you can just focus on going for the strategists instead, as opposed
hot
to
take.
that the Gambit will
Sword Art Online would have been a better anime than solo leveling could ever be if they actually went floor by floor and did that whole thing instead of doing the love stuff.
See her with Gambit, and she is very much a presence that is felt, both in terms of the backline, but also the vanguards. The burst damage that she has with that team up, plus the ability to help sustain her
I had to
own
remember the
team
name.
is really, really strong.
So looking at like what RAD like to go for on just convoy,
solo leveling looked at an anime, was like, wow, I'm gonna copy that homework and make it better, and that's how they came up with solo leveling.
Because they did lose Midtown and Museum of Contemplation yesterday in Na'Vi, so they're 2 losses out of 4 total games played. It does feel a little bit like something has to give. We've mentioned it a lot with
Dude, stop talking about anime. Why? Does it scare you?
Ban everything. Something
you have no idea what you're talking about.
Would you want to see the pivot away from just getting rid
YouTube
of
chat, by the way.
Connected. Problem is that you give Sparker Elsa. So like, what the heck do you do?
That guy, chat. Don't say opinions in my chat. Apparently, opinions scare some guy in YouTube.
Elsa is one tool. I feel she's one of the best tools that we have right now. The percentage damage, the mobility, the actual burst, the Glatrox, just so much power. But as Moxie
I like feet. Whoa. Though you can't say that, bro. That's scary. Don't say that. Is that an opinion or a fact, though? Because I don't get scared of facts. I get scared of opinions. Watch out, chat.
You empower Magneto. You empower Star-Lord to make him as good
as
Elsa in some phases and as good against flyers. It's just so effective at enabling other things, and it's why it's been the primary ban in a lot of these cases.
It's a tricky point for RAD to be in, Moxie, because I think especially you have a game plan clearly. There's a way that you want to do the draft, but there's still these gaps happening.
Opinions. Cinnamon pretzels are better than salted pretzels. Pretzels in general are ass. They make your mouth dry.
It's hard for RAD now because you either stick to your guns here or you have to pivot, which might not have been the game plan.
Yeah, and I think VIRTUSPRO as well, like they've pivoted away from just like relying on the Captain America. I feel like for them, that was something that they would obviously like have to do, since Na'Vi showed banning out the Cap does mean that
the only time pretzels are ever good is if you have peanut butter with them.
When the Cap is in play, and other teams might be thinking like, oh, okay, wait a minute, there's a vulnerability here that we can expose. So the fact that VIRTUSPRO are coming back and not playing the Cap like at all so far today is very much a statement saying, hey, we're not crutching Captain America. We can still win this round even without him in play as we get ready to go into that ban draft. And no, Tetchel. We're still not seeing the Gambit instant ban, which means that there we go. One Gambit save coming on through from sort of RAD this time though, so it will be mirror Gambit, and probably both of these teams now going to be thinking about, okay, do we have to remove the Loki, or is it more important we remove the Mantis? As with Gambit getting through, I think now the strength and ball of court does go into the God of Mischiefs.
Yeah, double rated roll flush versus some damage boost. We do see the trade leading a little bit in.
J3, you don't like Attack on Titan?
The God of Mischief. And
Ew.
so far, identical. It would be very weird if we don't see a Loki here, but It is
Attack
possible.
on
Like I said,
Titan
Mantis is
fans
still an enabler for characters
only
like
think the
Star-Lord
anime is good
potentially,
because
or
they had to
if
wait
there's a
20
bit more
years
of a
almost
style, but
for
they
their
seem
anime to
to
finish.
taken out on his
And they
home
keep
turf,
getting baited by
being
the
removed right
developers
away.
by saying,
This
hey,
where
this is
we've
the
been
final
seeing a lot of
season.
Invisible
Oh,
Woman
nope, sorry, this is
sneaking
going to be the
into
final of the
fan bases
final
so
season.
far,
Oh,
but
this is the
Virtus.pro
final of the
immediately
final
mothered
season.
the Wolverine for half a
You guys are
second
getting
there.
baited.
Still a little bit traumatized from earlier on.
I think it's a good play here as well because
You
a lot
guys
of
wanna
teams
talk
will
about a
use,
great
like,
anime?
fastball special just to break first corner on attack in the
Hunter
way that
Hunter.
you would send a Venom in to dive the
That's a
backline,
great
just
anime.
creating that split focus so that your team has a little bit of an easy
That's a great
time
anime.
pushing.
You know what's
the
another great
frontline
anime?
right corner before
Food
you get
Wars.
taken
You know why?
out with a
Trust me.
defense
Watch the
advantage.
first
But speaking
episode
about
of Food
advantage,
Wars.
Virtus.pro are
First
actually
episode
going
of
to be
Food
using that
Wars,
next save,
tentacles
not for a
wrap someone's
low-key
body.
like last time, but to make sure that they have a
Wish that was me,
rogue
man. I wish
to
those
be
tentacles
able to
had
pair
me.
with the Gambit. So this is going to also mean now that Star-Lord might be the next ban coming on through from the side of RAD, they might want to be able to go like head-to-head with that rogue, because if not, Virtus.pro will have like two characters, both of whom pair really, really well with the Gambit, but it's Invisible Woman instead. So no force physics, no engagement, aggressive pulls to force someone out of position and leave them vulnerable. That will be happening, just only on RAD's side.
Food Wars is
Here
just
at one
soft
side is now
corn.
Virtus.pro.
Well,
Are they
you know
worried
what?
about
Good thing I eat
potential
corn the
for a
long
rogue
ways.
on the side of RAD as well. They know that they can play it, but are they worried about it, or do they once again try to get rid of that groove, taking away some of the defensive plays, especially on some of those later points, removing it from the board nice and early. But this does mean that Rogue is still available, not removed from either side.
Yeah, Food Wars is actually
So
really
if
cool.
RAD
I like
can
Food
play
Wars
it,
because
looks like they're looking into
I like
it.
cooking
Yes,
shows.
gonna
I don't
be
know if you guys
trying
ever
to
watched The
capitalize,
Final
and we're
Table
seeing
on
Magneto
Netflix.
pick
Definitely
up well,
watch The
but
Final
Mantis
Table if you guys like
slaps
cooking
through
and
for
also
both
learning about
teams.
other
So we're gonna
cultures
see
and
some
whatnot.
very heavily
Definitely watch
enabled
it. It's
duels
really
this
good.
game.
Yeah, Mantis
Food
and
Wars
Ultron.
actually, all the
So
food in Food
Virtus.pro
Wars is actually real
instantly are
dishes,
like,
and it's
okay,
really
cool,
it's
we're going to be
badass.
able to defend with a triple strategist line. We're going to have 12% damage boost from our Mantis coming out onto Sparker, who does not get the Elsa, but still gets Hypercarry Duelist in the form of Jean Grey. Nevix and Finzi will be able to get the team up with Saipe on that Gambit as well. So what you have from Virtus.pro is two very fast accumulating ultimates, Rage of Ultron.
I missed the 100 Thieves
and
match yesterday. Did they
Raging
finally
Horde
beat
Flush,
Swamp
which,
Gaming,
when
or
you
was it at
then
least close
add
this time?
in the
Oh, let's just
acceleration
say-
of ultimate build-up
let's just
onto
say
that
you missed a good
equation,
match.
You have a very
To
fast
miss.
cycling
Not a miss a
Virtus.pro
good
who'll hit
match
their
as in
ultimates, but
competitive.
also be at a
Nah.
high
It looked like a
damage
coughing
peak
baby
in
against a
neutral
hydrogen
with the
bomb.
one-sided Mantis currently showing in the composition. So for RAD, it's all about smash nets. Like how
Very
much
entertaining,
can the
though.
Star-Lord get done
I think that was the
in
best
terms
match
of
for me
being
to
able
watch.
deal
It was
with
a lot-
things
it was
like
very
the
entertaining.
Ultron, but also having to challenge the poke pressure coming on through from the Phoenix.
Smashnet's exit spawn gets almost sent right back into it, but is able to tank on through. In terms of speed of ultimates, you are right with Virtus.pro charging up quickly, but it is a one-sided Vanguard deadfall for Crazy Kitty to at least try and keep up, try and equal, similar to what we saw in the last round as well.
Okay, chat, let's
For
see if
now,
RAD can take a
first
round.
quarter being given
Or
up as they
will
need
my
to
first
hold
prediction
it
be
on
right?
that second-
I said
on that
Virtus.pro
first
3-0
defensive
RAD.
point. Holding at the top of the hill, forcing RAD to step up into them, and they're going to do so with Rogue immediately diving into the backline, trying to chase on in. Lugia with a lot of extra pressure. Ducky takes some damage from it. Crazy Kitty is already charged up and commits to the backline, trying to take them down. Nevix will get dropped nice and early as RAD making the most of their quicker charge speed to push on in and take a nice little cheeky early bit of distance. And we're not seeing Portal here, so we're not going to see a Portal.
I do like Rad's bans on Virtus.pro, but I also do like Virtus.pro bans on Rad. This is going to be a great game, chat.
Yeah, they're going to try and bring in the reinforcements, but they have to worry about faster built-up Gambit ultimate coming on through from the side of RAD. RAD aren't going to go for first turn, though, so Saipe has the opportunity to be able to match. Both the Raging Roll Flushes comes on through, but Crazy Kitty's already fallen, so Virtus.pro have 6 players up in comparison to RAD's 5. And that Raging Roll Flush was used before Smashness hits Galactic Legend. Meteor M from Ducky still in play, so part of it will be protecting the Galactic Legend.
Poor
alongside that
Sparker,
Guardian
bro.
Boundary coming
Sparker
on
could
through
not
from
make
Vertigo.
it.
Smashness
Damn,
gets
why
the
was
Galactic
Sparker all the
Legend
way
up,
out
but
there?
hasn't been able to take out the Ultron. Rage of Ultron attempts to stabilize VP's side. Vertigo still holding on to the invisible boundary. Has to have it in the pocket for what Drigros Mantis' Soul Resurgence kicks in for Virtus.pro to set in motion yet another
Bro,
strategist
the stall that Virtus.pro is having right now is insane. The stall that they're doing right now is insane.
No one's getting dropped low here. Media into the backline, but a beautiful dodge from Vertigo. And and Heartbreaker. Lugia chasing on in, knowing that they've managed to outlast most of their opponents, so they can just come in for a hard dive, shutting down any reinforcements, preventing an Aya Bakamoto, and that will be RAD claiming the first point. And finally, it looks like they're rolling very effectively here, and they even get a nice stagger onto Dridro as he attempts to rejoin the team.
Yeah, that's huge because now RAD can make much more of a forward play for space on second, right? VIRTUSPRO have no high ground control. They also don't have first corner control. So they're already going to be fighting up against, like, just taking all of this poke. Nash is equalizing ult build though.
What do you mean
with
jinxing?
Saipe, so VP won't be able to
I have
rely
everything
on
on
something
Twitter.
like first
Literally
Gambit
everything's
ultimate
on
into
written
Galactic
in the
Legend to
world.
reopen those spaces. It's going to be a straight up mirror. As Matt gets the ult up first, VP were doing a little bit too much poke, and that allows RAD to move forward. Out comes uncontested Raging Roll Flush, and VIRTUSPRO just have to give up this fight. They know in the next one though, they've got advantage. It's base Galactic Legend versus Gambit empowered Galactic Legend.
Which is a slight advantage, let's be honest. Some might call it one of the most powerful combos.
RAD is rolling right now, though. 3 minutes for this whole second. They have more, but 3 minutes for the second phase, and they're almost at third. Damn.
There's the wind-up. Saipe gonna pull the trigger to commit for this hold right in front of the objective. Lugia's gonna try and lock down some of the extra aggression. Meteor M is enough to take out Nevik. To keep
Wait, what did that?
board, but Sparker is uncontested in the sky, drops low, but is enough to take down one as they remove.
Wait, where
Deadpool
the
from
back?
the
What
board.
the back
In
roll
the
didn't hit
meantime,
anything?
Vertigo's got a beautiful angle there, keeping their front line topped up without being too contested. Guardian Shield to keep them topped up as VIRTUSPRO are going to be able to push them off the board with the help of that Soul Resurgence. Vertigo is so close to that invisible boundary, holding it, charging, leaping for the objective to allow them to push onto it. Gives them the time just before the Heartbreaker of Nevik comes on out. Crazy Kitty rejoins the fight to keep the pressure on lockdown with Meteor M from above from Fincy to take
Mantis
out Crazy Kitty,
does
to take out
show
anyone
who
in the
she's
backline.
healing. When
But
you're
RAD
when you're
are
playing
holding
Mantis
it
and you
together
damage
at
boost
least
or
for
heal,
the moment.
it shows up
But
on the
what they
bottom
haven't
right
done
of your
is
screen.
displace VIRTUSPRO off the
Also, when you
objective.
damage boost someone,
That comes
usually
now.
around their
Vertigo
body
gets
is like up
Nevik.
arrows,
Banhammer
meaning
comes on through
like
from
they're
Crazy
damage
Kitty,
boosted
and if
in
all
blue.
else fails,
And I think
you've
if you're
got
healing
Raging
someone,
Roll
I
Flush
think
coming
maybe
on
it's
through
like
from
green.
Ash. First, you just have to come through against this White Fox ultimate. Kumiho Unleashed is going to be put right back into White Fox base form as Sparker tries to come back on the Wolverine, though we do have a slight pause. So the action will come back to our cams in a moment as RAD will be able to pick up that second checkpoint.
Wait, I was about to say,
And
what
I'm
do they
really happy
mean, a
actually,
slight
Tetra, that you
pause? I didn't even
talked about
see a
the
slight pause,
positioning coming on through from Vertigo, because it's not just the positioning from the Invisible Woman who had such a good angle getting to play that left side corner. It's also the fact that RAD understand, okay, VIRTUSPRO
Just got legendary Black Widow last night.
They're about to hit Rogue Ultimate, which means we absolutely have to stack up all in one line to make sure that Vertigo's primary hits onto every one of us.
Do you get avoided
and we
a lot?
have Invisible Boundary up in time to hold our ground, and we don't have to play full retake walk up onto Yggdrasil Path, which has been so problematic in the past. The moment you lose one fight on second, you get hold on choke.
It worked out perfectly for them. They were also able to keep Gambit safe in that position as well, while Sparker's just farming people down the main walkway. These two are just making sure that Ducky is alive on the point. As long as one person's alive, you are taking resources away from VIRTUSPRO because they have to keep someone on the point or it's capturing second objective. So making sure that they had that positioning was absolutely essential. But I also want to bring up...
You willingly played Black Widow for 240 hours?
As the third Vanguard has been for RAD. We saw it as third Vanguard a little bit in our early group stages, then it sort of meant to second Vanguard for a bit, and now it's back as third Vanguard again, but it's just been enough to outpace the members of VIRTUSPRO in a lot of these fights and give RAD some of these more aggressive positions that they've been desperately looking for this whole series.
It sort of goes back to very like early on in the meta. If you want to sort of like peek behind the curtain, a lot of teams were actually okay with letting Gambit through. One-sided because
Hi,
they
Jay.
would just go for the Vanguard Deadpool. They
What's
knew
your favorite
how quickly
Lord,
Banhammer
animated Lord
would be able
icon?
to
My
build up.
favorite?
It dodged entirely the generation of ultimate nerfs because it has its own separate system. So it's
I think
just
my
based
favorite
around
would-
time
I
as
think
opposed to
they're-
charge that you can
I think
pull it
every
off,
new
and
character
you
that
have
they
it
come
up
out with,
pretty
all the
much every
lords are
second
like
fight
getting better,
with
and the
amount
champion
that you're
icons are
able
getting
to
better and
pull on
better.
through. But VIRTUSPRO are going to be swapping things up slightly. Five's
Besides
actually gonna be rolling
Deadpool,
out
I think
on the
Deadpool's
Daredevil
Lord
now,
icon,
but
it's
Nash
different,
just
but I
gonna
think it's
keep
kind of
that
ass.
momentum going.
I would probably say
Heartbreaker not coming
White
on through
Fox.
just yet from Lugic.
I think
This is
White
just
Fox,
base
Elsa,
dive rogue
or
damage, with the hearts as one
just
emboldened
White Fox or
by
Elsa.
that raging roll flush, and VP, they had no strategist else to
Gambit
be
is
able to try
good
and stem
too.
the tide.
That was a steamroll in that fight there by Rad, taking advantage once again.
Bucky,
of the
I like
slight
Bucky's.
momentum they
Bucky's
had
has a
on
lot
that
of
Daredevil,
aura.
like you said, but just got taken down so quickly. Taking out a second time here. Smashnez has got the range of 2 losses under them right now and are trying to bring it back and keep Rad's hopes alive. The Captain America has finally come out from Vinci because they need a hero. They need hope. They need someone who can do this all day to delay this, because right now the rest of the team is getting trapped in spawn. Bad Hammer going to be coming on out. Sparker in mid-air, taken down, and Crazy Kitty is picking up one more with the invisible boundary on the point to delay them even longer. Dridro with the Fate of Both Worlds to just get the healing on the board, to buy them some time, to allow everyone to respawn. But they're so staggered, Moxie. So many members are just getting picked off one by one. Fincy falls, allowing Nevix to come in, who then falls, allowing Fi to come in, who's getting taken down. It's one by one as Rad take the triple cap.
Nice.
Yeah, that unicorn shield as well from Crazy
Nice.
Kitty. Like when
Hey.
VIRTUSPRO, like you mentioned, have to basically play the relay race.
It's
we call
crazy
it bouncing
to
the
me
point, right?
to
You'll see it a lot on
that the
dominations you can
VIRTUSPRO
extend your
team
hold
can
for stall.
bleed,
We also see
chat.
it all the
Rad
time on
capped with a
Convoy
minute
as
and a
well, so
half
you can
left.
try and
That's
just, like,
good.
keep it there before it hits the final checkpoint, and you can funnel your players with the closer respawn from
is
defense
good.
to, even if you're losing the fight, still chip down that time, because sometimes that can be enough, burning your opponent out of that time bank on their attack. So if you go into OT, you can still complete the lead.
Looks like VIRTUSPRO maybe adjusting to something a bit more aggressive for their side here. Fi moving on to the Wolverine.
Yeah, VIRTUSPRO is trying to ruin
get
my
some
3-0
displacement
prediction.
going on their
Also, I
own
need to
side
get water
here.
after this
Captain
game, chat.
America
Just
could
as
be
a heads
stuck
up.
with here. Finzi yet to swap off it, and Nevix is going to be sticking, of course, with that rogue, trying to get a little bit of revenge against Lugia Goat, who's just been popping off so far.
I
So
wouldn't
far,
be
this has
surprised
been
if someone
Rad
beats
doing
VIRTUSPRO.
Exactly what they've been looking to do.
I wouldn't be
Finally
surprised.
getting their
I
own
do-
gambit
oh,
on the
bro,
board
chat,
has been
chat.
a massive boom. We can talk about how
For
Crazy Kitty's
North
been charging
America,
up so well
Swamp
and been getting
Gaming
them a lot
against
of these
Team Liquid
fights, but
Citadel
Lugia
is
Goat
going to be
engaging with the blessing
cinema.
of Smash
And
has
also
just
later
been
today, Team
fantastic
Heretics
to watch.
against
Taking out
Na'Vi,
VIRTUSPRO before they can even
cinema.
react.
We have some great
Yeah, and they've got the
matches
Hearts
coming.
as one team up as well, coming on through from their side, both the Mag plus the Rogue, and getting to play for that ultimate cycle, that Galactic Legend Raging Roll Flush. VP, I don't think, yeah, they won't commit to the Captain America. It's more valuable on the defense, since you can just like have your Captain America split off from the main fight, go to like the objective or put the pressure on the backline. With this, you want to just match the Mag. You need to have the same amount of neutral damage, potentially even higher with your poke, right? Because you're running that Phoenix on the side of Sparker, who's already almost halfway to his first ultimate, which is absolutely insane. But he is also getting to just shoot at a triple Vanguard setup, as Saipe's been able to break up onto the high ground.
Wow.
He is uncontested, catches onto Mash, which is now going to have a domino impact into the rest of Rad's team, because Saipe is going to be ahead of first Gambit ult in comparison to Mash, who out of this fight loses the opportunity to keep up.
First ult in general will be Crazy Kitty, who's going to set up the Bad Hammer, but Ducky's already been taken down, so now it's a 6 versus 4 in favor of VIRTUSPRO. The Bad Hammer finds nothing. Rad are going to find the spawn door as they are sent back. VIRTUSPRO very much mirroring their opponents here as they take a dominant first few fights, keep full control.
What I like about VIRTUSPRO though is that they are a very great team when something's not working. They are very willing to switch to something that might be work to work.
Safely, but they are cutting this extremely low.
No, they're not going to get it.
They're going to maybe mirror. They might be mirroring a Shikigami strat here by going for a quick re-engage out of the portal to at least try to hold them at the gateway. Diving through into the backline. They find Dridro and he is eliminated here. They don't get the defense, but they do learn something from Shikigami.
Yeah, they take a page from Shiki's book. They have to be careful that Lugia does not fall.
Ooh, taking a page from another team. I like that.
Split from the rest of the team.
I like that.
As we get, great wolf grab actually coming on through from Fi, just putting Duck into a position where Dridro coming out of spawn can set the freeze up onto the Strange the moment that he's on the ground. And VP, well, yeah, it was a little bit of a rough start against that Strange TP, adapted perfectly.
That was a great way of doing so. The wonderful re-engage coming in from Dridro there to just capitalize off of Fi, do some damage to the flipped members who were trying to deal with the rest of VIRTUSPRO. Beautifully.
If RAD somehow clutches out, the payout will be crazy. I do not think VIRTUSPRO is going to lose. I didn't think they were going to lose yesterday, but it is possible, but I don't think they're going to lose again.
Committing to it right away. Don't give VIRTUSPRO time to deal with it. Media M's going to be coming on in to try and counter and block at least some of Smashness's damage. Vinci will get melted. Dridro, even with all their healing, isn't enough to tank on through. His last stand comes out from Fi to look for a turnaround, but finds nothing. Taken down. And RAD, they burn a lot of resources, but they still have 3 ultimates, and they're able to hold it before reaching that second corner.
Yeah, VIRTUSPRO, like, by going for this Phoenix, they have a lot of good damage in neutral and also pick potential, especially with the stun. Plus, you're allowing Fi a little bit more survivability, but when it comes to Gambit ult, Mash just has the advantage with Smashness on the Starlord, synergizing perfectly to the part that we actually saw Finzi have to commit the Meteor Amp to try and absorb parts of it. I say parts because
I'm so
it broke
sad that RAD and
instantly.
VIRTUSPRO are both playing in the lovers
boundary coming on through from RAD. They knew that Dridro had already burned Fate of both worlds in the fight before,
Wrong tournament, bro.
Some of the incoming damage from that Starlord.
I don't know what the lovers queue is, but I would like to watch it too.
Ensong Inferno from Sparker does find the connection. Nevix too got the Heartbreaker off, but Rad were able
what
to
happens during the lover
ultimates in
queue? As
time
soon as the round starts, they start kissing each other or something?
At the pass. Now we're just looking at these gambits. Both Slipe and Mash are so very close to them, but as we covered before, Tetcha, Smashness, if he gets that Galactic Legend up, can be the winning factor for Rad's team.
Vertigo interrupting Fi.
Yeah, they are both really great teams, but as the playoffs continue, you are going to be playing against better and better teams. So it's gonna get harder.
90% now for that Galactic.
It's gonna get harder.
If they can drop that with only 2 minutes 20 on the board, that will give them
the more you go. Shit, I don't know how to explain. Listen, chat, I'm on a lack of sleep.
It's gonna be VIRTUSPRO that commit first. Smashness mirroring it from the other side. Sparker takes him down though, mid-air, preventing the capitalization. It's a double, and VIRTUSPRO, they break through the biggest threat that RAD had to offer.
Huge pick comes through from Sparker. Finzi with the Meteor Amp just buying VP the opportunity to hold their ground instead of kite out the Galactic Legend combo, and Sparker gets the shots off onto the Starlord to shut it down before it shuts the rest of the team down. We are headed now into one of the more harder parts of Yggdrasil for these attacking teams to be able to pick up. Usually it becomes an ult dump just to be able to try and beat these closer respawns, with Rad just having one opportunity, one ultimate to break this fight, to stall it out for as long as possible.
Yes.
Split push 2 potentially as well, not coming through from main, but taking that high ground approach allows Ducky to be able to hit some poke to build up the Meteor M and get his position on the point. Crazy Kitty 2 just providing the extra layer of shielding with the Unicorn bubble, comes on out into the fold with that Heartbreaker.
Galactica, they're kissing your homies. Now's your chance to stop them.
It's the fate of both worlds before the world can make connections, so VIRTUSPRO do have survivability, but they have to complete the shield off against the Meteor M. They've got the curtain in place from Finzi. Meteor M has to redirect. Spark is able to dodge out of damage with the end song, and Fi gets the hit of Last Stand, but Vertigo dodges it and still has invisible boundary in play, and Rad have been able to
less than a minute, chat. Less than a minute. Rad might actually take this.
We see on the horizon
Rad might take this.
And Gambit ultimates ready to go, but not before Saipe gets his online first.
As our colleague, like they've been calling it, the Raging Royal Legend will be shut down as they take out the Starlord early. Fi finally able to capitalize, gets a double, and that's going to be VIRTUSPRO breaking this hold. It's only delays for Rad right now before they
they're going to have, what, 2 minutes? I don't know. This is still doable.
2 minutes
still doable, chat.
For VIRTUSPRO to mirror, and this is looking very
still
familiar
doable
to that second map they had in the group stages. But the difference is, if VIRTUSPRO are able to take this, they are 3-0ing this series. If they can take this in overtime, if Rad can hold this, they're still in it.
Appreciate the massive prime sub. I hope you have a great weekend. Massive W.
But Starlord at the ready, Mash at the ready. The anti-heal is set up, trying to weaken them before they get the chance, and it's interrupted. Heartsealer gets it just up, and it's interrupting Smashness before he can fully charge up the Galactic Legend, meaning they do not get the full setup here. It's enough to take down Finzi, but now Smashness has a very disjointed Galactic Legend combined with Mash, who's already used the Raging Royal Flush.
I will say for RAD though, this might actually work out better for them.
Yeah, I think it works out better than them. They won the fight and they didn't need his ult. I think that's a lot better.
Space. And Finzi,
Chat,
knowing
if
that
Smashnez uses his ult next fight and Finzi gets a hit a meatball in the air on him, I will take my shirt off.
Which is brilliant news for RAD because it means that they'll know exactly when Sparker wants to use the end song to potentially look for that combination. There's the Meteor M. This Galactic Legend though.
Where did Finzi throw his meteor?
React with the Meteor M, and we just get put into a state of limbo until both of those ultimates are done. Now we get the actual hit. Banhammer leads Lugia go into that back line, and Sparker disappears in a puff of smoke before you even get the opportunity to hit end song.
Fate of Both Worlds came on out, but it's a 4 versus 6 right now. But spawns are close to VIRTUSPRO. They will be able to reinforce quickly.
I think RAD takes this.
You see RAD, they don't overextend. They know they've won the fight. They let them retreat. They pull back. They take cover. And more importantly, they make sure that they're not building up too many of VIRTUSPRO's ultimates so that they can re-engage once VIRTUSPRO step out of spawn with the Heartbreaker, Invisible Boundary, and Meteor M, because overtime
huge plays by RAD.
Wolverine looking into
huge
the
plays.
Taking out 2. Dridro finishes off Crazy Kitty. Smashnez falls.
Oh, and then you have the raid boss Sparker. You have the raid boss Sparker. Yep, I don't. You got Sparker mad, chat. As soon as you make Sparker mad, it's a different game, bro. He opens his third eye or some shit.
They have Raging Roar Flush, but they don't have Galactic Legend.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Oh, they portaled.
They
portal spawned.
Sparker on this high ground angle.
Are you able to get out on the? Oh, you're able to get out on the left side. They messed it up.
Crazy Kitty. There's the Raging Roar Flush, and this
now VIRTUSPRO doesn't have the portal to get back to spawn. Get back to the cart from spawn.
And that might be enough. VIRTUSPRO, can they live? They were able to get past the Raging Roar Flush uncontested, but they're still losing their vanguards on the point itself, and that overtime is going to burn out so quickly if they lose more players.
Wow.
3 still up for VIRTUSPRO, but they've been rerouted out of the fight, zoned entirely away by RAD, and RAD pull the map versus VIRTUSPRO. The moment that they're able to just like free up that map space with uncontested Raging Roar Flush and just push VP back and do it yet again.
I said
with Galactic Legend,
RAD was going to win.
Perfectly in their favor,
sorry, VIRTUSPRO was going to win 3-0.
Even before the
it's a
Heartbreaker
3-1, bro.
From VIRTUSPRO's side would have been like,
let's see this.
Let's just use one of them.
Crazy Kitty is popping off.
We'll be able to get more time, more ultimates out from VP.
Smashnez 41 and 3
when the overtime bar hits.
Quick reminder as well.
Nevix 14 and 11 with 0 finals.
Everything. We gotta bring up that Crazy Kitty seems to have forgotten that he's playing the Vanguard version of Deadpool. 30 and 6 with 14 of them being finals.
Hella is still good now.
Damage
I mean, Hella's always been good.
Behind Smashnez and Ducky, by the way. Insane DPS output. Brad's still in it. Let's find out if they can keep this momentum going after the break.
Did you sleep, Jay? Yes, I did sleep. And also, yeah, Hella still played. We saw a little bit of Hella yesterday, but usually people like to play Phoenix instead of Hella, especially in pro play. Yeah, but I think on the ladder, Hella's still pretty good. Okay, chat, I gotta fill up my water bottle so I never have to get water throughout the day. I'll be right back, okay? Make sure you guys drink water. Get hydrated.
Watch out, they're headed our way! Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! 1,000 gods!
So whilst Crazy Kitty hasn't had access to one of his main characters of Wolverine, he decided to move over to Logan's best buddy in the whole wide world of Deadpool to actually find a lot of success and at least a match win against Virtus
I got
Pro.
water. I went to the
Virtus Pro with
bathroom. We are
choice of
good to
map
go,
now
chat.
that
We are
the
good to
whole,
go.
Pool is reset. They chose to go to Convoy again, this time going to Midtown, which for one, Moxie, didn't go well against Navi yesterday, and secondly, it's a map that RAD are undefeated on 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be looking at the ban draft, right? Are we going to see this continuation of
Oh,
both
I'm
teams
sorry to hear
getting
that
the
again. Thanks for
gambit,
the watch party,
or
Jay. It's
are
helping
we
me
going
get
to
through
see
the
one
recovery
just, like,
process for my
bend and
motorcycle
go for this
accident.
gambit
Love your watch
instant ban
parties. Hey,
Elsa
appreciate
save
it, but hey,
instead?
get
Because
better, man.
now that RAD have started mirroring
Be careful,
the gambit
chat. Take
and
care of
seeing
yourselves.
the success that it had on that last
Take
map of
care of
Neutral
yourselves.
Zone,
If you don't
I can
take care of
only
yourselves,
imagine they would want
that means
to
that's
continue
less
bringing the
time to
gambit
watch
into these
Jay3.
compositions when we go to yet
Come on.
another convoy.
How surprising, I suppose, is it that we saw RAD being able to pick up that last map? Picture, because
Keto,
we've
that's just
seen
how
them
new
sort of wrestle with,
seasons and new
Lufa
characters
over
are gonna
Meta. Same
happen,
with
are just
Shikigami.
gonna be,
What's
bro. No
elevating
one's
them
gonna
to
know how
that
to
next
play the new
level is,
character.
like,
They're gonna
playing
lock
what
it in
they're
your
strong
games,
on
and then
versus playing
you're gonna
what's
have people
meta.
throw your
Here
games.
it feels like
That's
it's
why
been
I'm
a
kind of
little
glad
bit
that I'm not
deeper.
playing the
The
first
gambit
day of the
head-to-head was
season.
pretty even. Mash had a pretty good
And
go
we're
of
doing
it,
watch
but
parties
also when you
instead.
can put players like Lugia over on the likes of Rogue and play the likes of Star-Lord, and then just triple Vanguard because there's so much like utility that they all bring.
How many
It
times a
seemed to
week
be
do you
like a
hit the
best in
gym?
slot fit for
Depends.
RAD
If we're
as well.
doing watch parties, I don't hit the gym during watch party days, man. We do 16-hour streams and I go to bed. There's literally no time for the gym.
And that was the best draft we've seen from RAD so far. They took the momentum that they got from a very slow draft, were able to mirror any advantages that VIRTUSPRO had, and then found their own with the Vanguard Deadpool third Vanguard second duelist sort of setup. And also on a map type that they seem very happy with. We've talked about it before, how every time you put RAD in a situation where they're in a convoy or convergence, they will almost always get a triple cap, with the exception of that last Central Park that we saw. Whereas VIRTUSPRO, you mentioned it before, they've had a couple issues when it comes to that. They've seemed to be slipped on a couple of these convoy maps, including the last
Are you gonna
time-
go play
not the last
GP
time,
in
sorry, but
between?
in group
GP
stages where they
quick
played
play?
this map, their first
We didn't have
series
time
against
yesterday,
Frample.
so
They
I
lost
don't know if
two
we're gonna have time
versus
today.
Frample. So them taking us here is an interesting choice, but that's their comfort. Let's see how they do with it.
One element of it as well, I think, Moxie, is that there's not many teams that would try to go for an even draft with VIRTUSPRO, and it was fairly similar there. The only one-sided thing that VIRTUSPRO had in their favor was the Wolverine, which we saw the pivot from Crazy Kitty to go Deadpool Vanguard was pretty good.
I am
The other
chat.
side,
I don't
however,
have.
RAD
First
had
of all,
access to Invisible
I don't
Woman,
have a
and
gym
VIRTUSPRO
in my
did not.
house. Second
And it
of
does feel
all,
that whilst you have a good
I
strategy
like
pipeline to
going
play
to the gym
anything,
because
it
going
does
to the gym is
complicate
my
things
one
somewhat.
time
Sure,
a
you've got
day
the
I get to
gambit, you
leave the
can play a little
house
bit
and
more, you
go
don't have the low-key,
have
but, like,
human
is that something that,
interaction.
like,
It's
VIRTUSPRO
pretty
would put some
scary,
stock in?
and
I
usually most of
mentioned
the
that
time I
because
poop my
RAD are very
pants because
keen
I'm
on
scared.
protecting at least Invisible
But
Woman once or twice here,
if I have a
but
gym at my
maybe
house,
just wanna
I'll
make it
never leave
decisive
my
if they
house.
can.
And I don't think that's
Yeah, I mean,
healthy.
the Invisible Woman was like really instrumental in a lot of those fights too. You're sort of looking at how VIRTUSPRO played their
Yeah,
own
I have
Raging Roll
human
Flush in
interaction at the
that
gym, chat.
second to last fight
You
on
guys
Eagles
don't have
Third.
fellow gym bros?
RAD know that it's
My
going
favorite
to be
thing
a
is
Raging Roll
seeing one of
Flush,
my
and
gym
what
bros
they
squatting and I
actually
go
do is
behind them and I
VIRTUSPRO
make sure I
uses the
hold their
invisible boundary
ass to make
because
sure
some
they're
of the
doing a
time,
proper
VP have to
form
make a play onto
and
the
they're not
objective
hurting
itself.
themselves.
So they
You guys don't do
use
that?
invisible boundary on the point. No, they go past it and actually use invisible boundary.
I think the biggest misconception about the gym is that a lot of people think they go to the gym to look good so they could like, yeah, hey, you know, I'm gonna go to the gym so I can look good and try to get a girlfriend. No, you go to the gym so you could get complimented by other guys. No, you don't. I love it when I go to the gym and my gym bros are like, damn, bro, your glutes are looking mad tight. Let me feel that. I love it.
One of the things to highlight going into map 4 is just the amount of hero switches that VIRTUSPRO have had to do. Fi, Nevix, Finzi, all trying to adjust onto different types of compositions. We'll see what they have in mind for Midtown as you guys have a look towards the draft and whether there's going to be more Gambit play for both sides more than
Actually, it was a leg day for me on Wednesday. Before I went to the watch parties, I did a leg day on Wednesday because I knew I was going to be sitting a lot.
Finally, RAD were able to get their hands on a Gambit of their own. Will they continue to do so? So far, the hovers, we will see Elsa.
I feel like I learn a lot from you.
Now,
Thanks for your wisdom.
Rad.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad I could spread my wisdom.
Next, the Gambit, as VIRTUSPRO, of course, continue the theme.
The immersive rogue experience, if you will. Protect the Gambit. That's what you want, Rad. That's what you want to do. You know you want to. Just go for that first save onto the Gambit to be able to mirror it, so that we go yet again into VP, save Gambit. Rad react with a Loki ban, so that VP again don't get a return to Central Park with 2 casts of Gambit. Oh, and there we go. Okay, rogue mission complete. Now the question is, do we get to see her with her husband,
Rogue
or
mission
are we actually going to see
complete.
one of these teams divert from the ban draft lines that we've seen so far and try to remove her? Because
Vanny,
the
appreciate the
rogue has
massive
been
prime sub, my
very,
friend. How you
very
doing?
crucial for both of these teams when Gambit is up at securing eliminations in neutral, but also putting the pressure
Clever
into
Ren
forcing
guy.
the ults when Heartbreaker is coming at the worst opportunity.
While the Mon Ami of Rogue is still a threat, it will be several other characters of powerful
Mon
enablers
Ami.
here. It's going to be the Invisible Woman taken out on both sides, and the protection of the Rogue from Rad, really making sure that they can just get that backline dive potential.
Oh,
with
he
Luki
did do
Goat
my,
as effective as possible, and just in case they
He
want
did
to
do
double
my
down,
idea.
VIRTUSPRO will take away the Wolverine as well, potentially securing himself a one-sided Wolverine, and this time without the risk of Vertigo dropping Force Physics to prevent them from absconding with Wolverine's ill-gotten gains.
Does mean that Ducky's Groot has been able to make it through. But I think like you're more concerned if you're VIRTUSPRO about Rad taking out the Rogue. To have one-sided Heartbreaker, one-sided Hearts 1 team up. This could be a Star-Lord ban, or this could be a Wolverine ban, especially if Ducky does want to lean towards some of those Groot plays. Because like you pointed out, Invisible Woman being unseen on this match does mean that you don't have to worry about things like the Force Physics. You would still have to contest with the Bulwark, though, coming
Double
on for
Elsa
Mag,
bans,
and
they
thought
said it
about
couldn't be
going for
done.
the Groot ban, but instead
True.
pivot over to the Thing instead. So we're removing some of
Yep.
the capacities from VIRTUSPRO's
Mon
plays
Ami,
to
I
be
think of
able
Expedition
to
33.
brawl, as well
Great
as
game.
having things
You guys
like
have not
that
played
Yancey Street
Expedition
Charge
33?
to be able
Great
to
game.
lay the groundwork quite
Bull
literally to
stinky.
debuff the
Appreciate the
mobility
massive
of
2
some of
months,
these
my friend.
dive characters.
Do you think the pros are going to hit the
Also
new
the
CC
opportunity
changes?
of the,
I think
pros with the cosmic fastball, if they
people
want to
who
do that
play
now, they're
certain
limited to
characters
the
might,
Gamma
yes.
fastball version of the Hulk if they want to pick that up. But for now, Rad, knowing that there's a potential for a Wolverine on the board, it looks like they might not even go for a Rogue at this early stage. They are considering bringing out the Thing of their own. And
Yeah,
that is risky,
I
but
think
it
I have a
looks like they're
command
also
for it.
looking into a three
But
Vanguard
no,
three
these are all
practice setup
these are
to just go
tournament
for a
accounts, chat. On
hefty
tournament
defensive lane
accounts, they have
there
everything
because they're
unlocked.
mixing it up a bit. Lugia might
Skins.
get the Rogue.
This is a throwback, Tetcha.
Champion
This
icons,
okay, so
everything.
Iron Fist actually became meta
They're not-
for a while for professional
These are not their
teams
real accounts.
after Atlanta, because he was actually one of the best duelists at being able to go toe-to-toe with
Nola.
Groot and also
What is that command?
Mag
Oh, exclamation
because
mark
of that
tournament
health
server. There you go.
percentage,
Thank you.
to damage that he's able to do. So VIRTUSPRO, they could potentially go for the Iron Fist. They're looking instead on going for that Punisher as Finzi on the Groot. Fire's going to be moving on to that Moon Knight just for this first push at least to try and build
Oh,
up
shit.
the Hand
Yep,
of
I got you.
Khonshu Strangling Prison combination. As Rad not actually going to be all that stacked up into these small side rooms. They're going to be relying on Ducky doing that instead. They're holding high ground instead before dropping down and contesting the objective actually moving.
Go gets dropped extremely low here, chased all the way back, but will get healed up. The triple Vanguard, triple strategy is enough to
Ooh.
take down Cypher, which does mean a little bit of a head start from Mash when it comes to that Raging Royal Flush charge.
The 3 tanks, 3
Once again,
supports,
take
man.
the advantage of these corners to just charge up a little bit of bonus health, chase them back, but not overextending. If you get caught in the open as the Thing, you're in serious danger. You might have to use your main engage tool as a disengage tool to make sure that you don't get caught out of position. In the backline, Dridro, making sure that everyone is topped up and they can charge up a Fate of Both Worlds nice and quickly, while Nevik is trying to find someone isolated, like Vertigo here, for a quick blow-up. They can do so, but it's going to be Ducky who, protecting their team, is going to be falling on the sword.
BRB though brings him back. Crazy Kitty 2 utilizes that Meteor M, catches onto
Oh, he actually got a
Finzi.
kill. Wow. I want to say Virtus.pro is running a very interesting spawn hold break comp. Instead of like the Storm. Wait, they got off Moon Knight? Instead of the Storm Moon Knight like a lot of people do, they went Punisher's Moon
Such a high
Knight.
amount of just use Meteor M, already almost 25% to
Hey,
the next
appreciate
one,
Zevin,
but now
appreciate
you
you
don't
being
have
here,
it
man.
to be able to deal with the final judgment coming on through from Sparker that will be empowered by Saipe. Crazy Kitty
BJ the
cuts
Shadow for
Nevik,
16 months,
however,
appreciate it.
And Sparker, with
Vanny,
the final
like I said,
judgment,
appreciate it,
hasn't
appreciate
really
it.
been able to find the amount of space that VIRTUSPRO were looking for. Very late strangling prison comes on through from the side of Finzi, setting everyone up to be caught out in the CC outside of Vertigo, who does come out with the Eternal Bond to dodge of it, and RAD still being able to hold some of their players in position, could well decide to actually commit the Strange Portal recontest coming on through from Crazy Kitty that forces Lugia into having to go for the Heartbreaker just to be able to survive until the portal comes
Shotgun
through.
Punisher.
Vertigo goes down, Mash goes down, so it's going to be a waiting portal here. They're going to wait for everyone to go down so they can regroup together, and we're not going to see any risk of a regroup coming in. No attempt at a stagger from VIRTUSPRO, because if they wait for a stagger, then that's an opportunity for RAD to portal back on and keep that cart without any movement at all. So instead, portal comes out once everyone respawns, utilizing it as cover, making sure it's facing away from your opponents. Don't give them the chance to body block you on the way out or to punish you on the way through. But in comes Ensong Inferno from Fi to look for a little bit of capitalization damage. Body blocked out from Smashnez, who took to the sky there to eat a little bit of damage. There. Crazy Kitty also looking to try and wrap around the Eye of Agamotto, is going to be drained down with the Heartbreaker from Nevik, and it will be prevented before it can stun out that backline. But Sparker is uncontested in shotgun Punisher form and is doing huge damage to anyone who finds himself isolated.
Yeah, I mean, this next fight too, it's usually a coin flip when both teams have Raging Roar Flush, but it's going to be a
I need to know what
weighted coin
Sparker's
flip on the
sensitivity
side
is.
of
It seems
VIRTUSPRO. They've got
very,
Gambit,
very,
also
very,
have Final
very
Judgment to be able
low.
to just catch Rad's players. Mash is already hovering that Gambit ult, but can they actually get players past Crazy Kitty with the Eye of Agamotto?
Oh
Would
no,
not be
poor
able to
Crazy
stun up the
Kitty.
Punisher.
Eye of
Final
Agamotto
Judgment,
into a
CC
Punisher
immunity,
ulting with a
potentially
Gambit
immunity to
ult.
all
Oh
forms of
my
damage
god.
for the amount of pocket that Sparker had to be able to just hold down primary and fire away. He truly did become law accurate Punisher in that moment.
Bro.
I am immune to damage because no one can damage me if they're already in the ground. Able to take down everyone before they can step up. And VIRTUSPRO getting some good distance here. You can see Saipe just going to be hovering at the choke point here at the top of the stairs into the basement of the Fisk building and the underground station. Looking to just ping some anti-heal and some damage at anyone who wants to step up. Lugia Goat already on the flank, has the Snowflake for a little, that idle aura for a little bit of extra sustain.
Oh, they actually have the pro sensitivity. I know
know
they have the pro crosshairs in the esports section, but they actually have the sensitivity. That's crazy.
More than worth it,
I wonder if they're ever going to add a streamer one.
All that momentum going as they are able to just burst
Who cares
on
about
through.
streamers,
Emma
chat?
gets
I
taken
hate
down
streamers,
even with
actually.
her Luna team up, and this is VIRTUSPRO with
Streamers are
nothing
all
stopping them.
egotistical,
Yeah, zero worries,
bald,
right? Because like you said, you use the strangling
small,
prison, you catch
short
onto Lugia's flank early before the rogue has Heartbreaker and hits your backline and
yeah, the
drains
pro section
out
in
of his ult
this.
with Fatal Bow
Does
Forces.
any other?
Red
I don't play
actually
a lot
going
of
to be
other
making
games
some
besides
changes.
Overwatch.
We're
Chat.
going to head into
Do
third. The map plays a little bit more into open space as well as verticality. So what they're going
other
to
esports
do is
have
they're
like
going
a
to play
good esports
outside of
tab
this
like Marvel
building
Rivals does?
and wait for VIRTUSPRO
Marvel
to
Rivals
have
does
to
a
walk
really great
forward
job.
into
You can
that
see
open space
everything. You
for
can
the
watch
Venom to be able
replays,
to
see
hit the
sensitivity,
backline and
crosshair
force out
settings.
these ultimates,
You can
delaying
see, you can do
VIRTUSPRO
predictions.
and allowing
It's pretty
RAD to
cool.
start leading the ultimate economy for the long term. Fi scouting this out is going to come through with this Ensong Inferno, getting to just bypass Fisk building, open space, absolutely ignored into the backline with the Ensong Inferno hitting onto the Gambit, and that means that RAD have had to give up a lot of space. Lugia Goat, though, with that Heartbreaker, buys it all back, and VIRTUSPRO already anticipating the rogue ult, kite out of it crucially with both of the strategist ults intact.
They probably don't have any face cams today because there was a lot of issues yesterday with double audio. Face cams were ahead of the games, so it would actually spoil what's happening. So they probably don't have it today.
Already going to make their way in with a numbers advantage. Raging Royal Flush comes on out and
Wait, Valorant has a little bit and
pulls the
small
trigger
amount of
over
Rocket
literally
League, but nothing as good as
metaphorically.
Rivals.
Sparker
Ooh, I'm glad to see that
leads
Rivals is doing,
to get at least
you know, a great
pick up and
job.
Force everyone back to spawn.
Well, Mash has got Raging Roll Flush, Smash knows too, but follow up with that Galactic Legend for Rad to be able to get a little bit more real estate, but they're going to have to contest potentially with this Fate of Both Worlds, giving the 40% damage amp to Final Judgment. Oh my goodness, the Feast of the Abyss, and Ducky's absolutely feasting. Comes on through with the anti-heal, sets up the elimination onto Finzi, but not onto Sparker. Late Heartbreaker comes on through from Nevix, finding the connection onto Lugigo, but Rad is still making trades here. And that means that the fight is absolutely still winnable for the man without fear as Crazy Kitty dives into VIRTUSPRO's whole team and finishes them up.
Nicely done by Rad.
Great hold by Rad, bro. I thought they were losing that when VIRTUSPRO popped Sparker and Dreedro's ult.
Even though they were the ones that called the engage, just to make sure that they did not get absolutely mowed down by Sparker with that Final Judgment, so they could re-engage once those ultimates were expired, the Fate of Both Worlds with the Final Judgment, so that they could get the more advantageous entry fight for finishing off any stragglers here. Lugia and Nevix going to be having a lovely duel of the rogues, both just trying to lock each other down.
Two rogues punching each other. That's actually very funny.
The devil is unleashed, and VIRTUSPRO are once again staggered in spawn, but the problem is, Moxie, they're running out of time.
Yeah, it's wild actually that Lugia is able to survive.
Crazy Kitty
grabbed out by
is starting to become one of my favorite
by Finzi,
DPS players to see as well. This guy's really good. Mostly his Wolverine is what I love.
Just like walk for free into this dive setup, and like you said, they're running out of time. They have to go for characters who have high mobility and can mark the dive themselves. So Fi swaps to the Daredevil, knows exactly where Crazy Kitty will be playing from. Lugia comes on through with a zoning Heartbreaker, and VIRTUSPRO just have to give up the space. But in the meantime, Finzi swaps to the Captain America, flanks all the way around the back, and crucially will be able to jump onto that objective to hit OT and give VIRTUSPRO an opportunity of building up to Saipei's ultimate to try to swing this fight. Mash has already got his in hand though, and Rada looking at all of VIRTUSPRO, knowing that they have to be concerned
dude,
about
Gambit,
the follow-up if they
I
don't find the
don't know if
eliminations
that
here.
I don't know if
Nevix
Gambit should be able
down,
to do
Saipei's
that.
ultimate's on the
Bro,
board,
Gambit chases down
like
a what do you call it, Daredevil, and just
so quickly for
beats him up, man. Poor guy, he's already blind. Why do you gotta bully him?
Push.
Hey, good hold by Rad. Good hold by Rad, chat. We might be able to see a game 5, maybe.
To find the stability.
We might be able to see a game 5.
You can see in Marvel Rivals, and that is Fi on Daredevil in your backline. He said, "Nah, I'd win." Chases him down while his ultimate was still active with an anti-heal.
Scores on the top of your screen, chat.
Picks them off, and that prevented any
VIRTUSPRO has 2.
Any capitalization onto the backline if
Rad
Rad
has
hadn't
1.
been able to finish that off there and then. Beautiful performance here by Rad, and now they've finally been able to get Gambit in their hands. They're starting to stabilize, but that was still a huge push from VIRTUSPRO. 2 points down, huge distance towards the Avengers Tower. This is going to be difficult for Rad to replicate.
Yeah, especially because like VIRTUSPRO, you've got the Groot. Now, if you're Rad, you have to be so worried about someone just stepping up a little bit too far forward and then getting wall isolated. But VP actually, instead of going for the Groot, they go for the Captain America. And I think I prefer this slightly more.
I don't know why it says
if you're
A
playing the
and
Groot,
B.
you would sort of just have to play main and low ground and look for wall isolation.
It should say
from
attack and
Vanguards,
defense,
which would then
but
mean
that's
that
what the
Rad would
logo's
just
for.
full
But I
push
mean,
the whole
A
team
and B
up
is probably
onto
the
high
side.
ground
I
and
don't know.
take those positions instead. Going for the Captain America means that you can actually just like take the fight somewhere else. You can stall the objective, you can try and guarantee that VP will get as many fights as possible on the defense, not necessarily to win them, but literally to just drain Rad's time bank, because this is not a sprint, this is a marathon. VIRTUSPRO are thinking about, okay, if we don't full hold, let's at least get a good 2 minutes off the time bank so that Rad lose an opportunity on second and third.
Seeing Lugia make their way up to the high ground to try and duel out Nevix, try and force them to give away that positioning advantage that VIRTUSPRO did get with that defensive setup early. Nice pickup from Crazy Kitty. They force them off the high ground and get the pickup from it. And that is a lovely setup. Will we see a portal re-engage from VIRTUSPRO like we did from Rad as they slowly but steadily pick off the members of VIRTUSPRO one by one and immediately Fi back to Strange. They want a portal back in.
I was reading someone in chat say, be honest,
the time of day. And
VIRTUSPRO is just going to full hold.
Yeah, also the time to build up ultimates. because Crazy
Doesn't
Kitty
look
is
like it.
very close to a Kraken impact.
Doesn't
But
look like
VIRTUSPRO, they'll
it.
take the high ground approach and then drop their vanguards down onto the objective to stall it out with the bulwark, allowing the Strange to go down and get back up to the catwalk. But in the meantime, we've actually lost Finzi as we get a huge pickup coming on through from the side of RAD. Crazy Kitty's about to have the Kraken impact up and online, and VIRTUSPRO do not have Raging Roll Flush to get the Purify on the cast of it. Manages to get the Trooper's Fist connection onto
Ooh.
5. BRB brings the Doctor Strange back, but can you pull off the magic trick of surviving the Kraken impact? One falls, we get a reset, finds the execution potentially onto Dredro, who
Does he
gets
get another
connected
reset?
Onto, has the
Does he-
turn on
he
board
does-
that
oh,
VIRTUSPRO
he
wants to
doesn't
use
get
to be
that
able to
reset.
stabilize their position in this fight and stop the reset coming on through, allowing Saipe to match the Raging Roll Flush coming on through from Ducky, but the Strangling Prison setup
That
from
guy
Ducky.
didn't die? Gru
They put him in
ulted
timeout,
and they
isolated
Gambit
him from the
ulted
ball,
and they were
but he
smacking the
survived for a
shit
little
out of
bit.
him and he
They're
still
finally taken
lived?
down, though. Finzi falls, and VIRTUSPRO, they burned through the time, but RAD are able to come out ahead. And how
That's
refreshing is it to
crazy,
see
bro.
Crazy Kitty back on that Winter Soldier, doing what they do best in Stage 2 of last year. But VIRTUSPRO, it's now their opportunity. Raging Roll Flush comes on out via Vagamoto, but Smash this tanks on through. Final Judgment takes down 1, takes down 2. He's eating it, Moxie. They turn it around, and VIRTUSPRO are routed again. They are burning so many resources to try and delay, but the fact is, this is going to be point number 1 for RAD.
Huge plays, bro. Huge
for Dredro,
plays.
it was probably we swapped to Jeff so we can get the speed bubbles, so that we get the
Huge
opportunity while
plays.
we used Strange Portal to get another fight before RAD hits checkpoint, and we can
Huge.
come through with Aya Vagamoto plus
Who-
Raging Roll Flush. And
who
yep,
said
there
they were
we
gonna
go.
get full
Fight
hold?
attempted,
Where are you?
lost. Now onto the Luna
Huge
instead, as we're going to be
plays.
utilizing the Idol Aura onto 5.
We might see a
on the
match
Daredevil,
5.
But RAD have also swapped Crazy Kitty onto the Daredevil.
Sparker is,
anticipating
sorry, not
VP's
Sparker.
change-up,
VIRTUSPRO is
and
not
they've
looking
got
like
the sight
that,
to be able to match the
very
vision
dominant
coming on
team in
through from the
EMEA anymore.
defense. Nevix with the heart
There's
breaker.
actually,
VIRTUSPRO wants to be able to secure one
someone can
fight,
take the throne.
So they get all of this map space and high ground to be able to put the pressure onto RAD, and by the time bank left,
Wow,
that they
good
lost
survivability,
out
though.
on first. No eliminations off of the back of it. RAD also not really that close to ults. The Heartbreaker drained away the potential to use them. Ducky's got the Strangling Prison, but Crazy Kitty has fallen, and RAD without that Daredevil going to have to be backing a little bit closer to their side of the map, consolidating their resources, waiting for Mash to hit this ultimate
We'll see
before
who
they
the
decide to
strongest
walk
is
in.
in NA today. You have Swamp Gaming against Team Liquid Citadel, two of the best teams. Also, you'll see something similar here. You have Navi against Team Heretics. That's going to be a really good game too. Wow, Crazy Kitty is a really great player, bro.
Raging Roll Flush was activated as they chase down VIRTUSPRO into the subway, finishing off the structures. They want to get Nevix. If they can finish off Nevix on the way out, that will be a huge stagger. Dredro gets frozen. Dredro gets just absolutely capped here, as this is RAD pushing into the basement. VIRTUSPRO, they do still have delays though. They have Finzi, they have Fly, and they have Raging Roll Flush with 2 people down. They commit to this.
They had to. If they didn't, Lugigo would just first turn with the Heartbreaker before Saipe gets the opportunity to use. So VIRTUSPRO have to commit the Gambit ultimate while they know that they still have it. But Vertigo, with the fate of both worlds, allows RAD to stabilize through the one-sided Gambit
all of
cast
RAD is
and
looking
hold their
really
position.
good right now,
Dredro's
bro.
got the
All of
match
RAD
now,
is
though,
looking
and VIRTUSPRO
real
have closer
good.
respawns.
Ooh,
Five
good
Devil
wall
out,
by
comes out
Ducky.
Before Heartbreaker can find the connection, Strangling Prism from Ducky tries to put the Daredevil into timeout and does complete the
Solo
elimination.
ults the Daredevil, which I think is a very good way to solo ult someone.
It also meant that Vertigo goes through and freezes the Sorcerer Supreme instead. But that strange TP has allowed VIRTUSPRO to burst through with the Freedom Charge and RAD out of
I don't
all of
even
the
know how
sustainability,
VIRTUSPRO
have
is
to give
even
up the
holding
space,
this. This
not
is
lose
crazy.
players,
Great
and come back
defense.
with Galactic Legend to
No,
finish
we've
off
been
the fight
glazing
instead.
RAD for a
Out
bit,
comes
but
the
you gotta
Star-Lord
give
ultimate,
VIRTUSPRO
away goes
like a
Dredro.
lot of props.
Nevix trying to hold the space down with the Heartbreaker, but Lugigo's on absolute fire at the moment. Has both of his strategists to be able to back him up, even through the grab coming on through from Nevix, and Mash gets another cast of Raging Roll Flush, which finally should end this fight.
But the fact is, VIRTUSPRO just burned through so much time. 3 minutes were on the clock when RAD were able to hit that first point, and now they still haven't captured the second one with 55
This is what look at Captain America, bro. Captain, oh, they killed him. I was about to say Captain America doesn't do anything but jump up and down and stall the card. Hey, that was a good hold though, chat. That was a good hold. That was a good hold by VP. Now, RAD almost needs to fully cap this to win though. 2 minutes.
but the time is what's
2 minutes for this whole last
Yeah,
phase.
the
That's
maximum
not a lot of
stalls are
time.
Sparker just like going to the Wolverine to have the passive kick in, so you have to do even more damage to be able to oust that duelist. But Crazy Kitty does have Let the Devil Out.
Dog, did you
something
sleep
that
at all?
Virtus
You've been
Pro
up
going
for
to have to
24 hours
worry
now? No, I went to bed
about,
last night for
as
6
They don't have a
hours. We're
strategist
back.
ultimate online. They could lose their backline very, very quickly if
We're
they're
back,
not
bro.
able to
We're back.
complete this peel.
Chat, I
Vertigo
can't
too,
be the
with
best
Fate of
watch
Both
party
Worlds,
if I
like,
don't do the
Rad
watch
have
party.
ultimate advantage, and
I
that's
gotta
going to
grind.
transcend it.
You gotta
It
put the
gets
you gotta
such
put the
a
work
huge
in.
opening.
Can't
Vertigo
say you're the
won't
best
close
if you don't put the
holding
work in.
against fist building as well. So it's going to have to be okay. We go into this fight, we lose this fight, we now make a last stand for the last push of Midtown. But Rad, they've got Heartbreaker, they've got Fate of Both Worlds, and Smashness is
Okay,
about to
let's
get
see
this
this.
Galactic Legend
Let's see
online.
this.
If Virtuspro don't get a strategist ult
Virtus Pro
online,
has
or
no
shut down one of
ults,
these
chat.
duelists
They're
early,
almost
Zephyr,
they
this
almost
fight
have a
could be
few
gone.
ults, but Rad.
He's gonna come out now.
Uh-oh.
Just going to be mirrored with the Galactic Legend, but Luna's already taken out the backline before they could ultimate. Lugia is able to mirror it, taking it out. Nevik, straggling Prison is dropped from both sides, trapping them in the building, which means that that finish line has a very few bodies on it. They have to rush in with some of the squishies. Down goes Rogue. Down
We're going
goes
to a match
down
5.
there, and Rad are evening up the score, Moxie. It's 2-2.
The first game
so
of
what we're
the
seeing at
day,
the
and
moment
we're
is that the
already
skill
going to a match
divide
5,
for
and
the
it's
EMEA
VP,
teams
bro.
has
VP
closed.
lost yesterday. Oh my god! If they
Massively.
lose today,
Like,
chat,
the
that's not
fact
gonna
that
look good.
Rad, when they first played VP in group stages, were not able to pull a map. Came close, but weren't able to pull a map. Fast forward now, 2 weeks later,
Wow.
they pulled 2.
Yeah, it's completely different. They came close in the group stages.
Wow,
but they've
bro.
learned
I
importantly.
did
We're just
not
seeing them
expect
learn
this.
everything so quickly. They learned from Shikigami with a portal re-engagement.
I
They
think
learned from Virtus Pro.
I had Virtus Pro being my #1 EMEA team. To be honest with you, I think maybe they're battling for top 3 now. Maybe even top 4. I don't know if anyone is from like, you know, EMEA, but like, hey, their region is becoming very interesting with these matches, chat. Very
Use all
interesting.
of our ultimates in one go to be able to complete that. In fact, we got to complete that fight in neutral, so we're
How's
closer
NA
to
doing?
our
NA
ultimates
is
than
very,
you are,
very interesting
and we're
as
just
well.
going to push before you can build up any economy to win a fight. Push us back into fist building, which would eviscerate our time bank to at least 1 minute remaining. Really good heads-up play coming on through from Rad, showing that honestly, where they needed to improve was the macro, and they've been able to achieve that. We're going all the way to a map 5, which we'll be back with after the break.
Which is wait, what would you say is the most competitive region? I only watch EMEA and NA. I can't vouch for Asia or China or Oceania. If I had to say which is more fun to watch, I think NA is a lot more fun to watch. But EMEA, they have a few good games. Yesterday there was a few good games. Today there's a few good games.
They're headed our way.
I mean, today this is the first game, and this is already a great game.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Pirates is cheating on everyone in Asia. Well, I wish I could watch the Asia games, but chat, do I want to watch Asia or do I want to go to sleep? I love sleep, bro. Virtus Pro had their mental broken yesterday, and I bet they keep blaming one person for why they lose. I don't think so. Virtus Pro is actually a very... they're a much older team than a lot of these other teams. They're very mature. They all have backgrounds of Overwatch League. I don't think they're blaming each other. I don't think they blame each other. You say that Asia has the best players, but I remember watching the grand finals and the mid-season finals last year. They did not look good, chat. They did not look good, bro. I think Asia were in China, at least if I remember, that Asia and China as the teams kind of like lost first. OUG and all those teams. How long's are the break? Oh, I'm blocking it. The breaks are usually like 2 minutes. So you guys are fine. We'll be back. Jay, as an Asian, I will cry tears of joy if you do Asia as well. I would love to do Asia. We will get to the Asia games when there are LAN events, because in LAN events, everyone's in one location, and we will be able to do that. But chat, I think Asia starts at like 4 a.m. for me. I can't. I can't. I really want to. Oh, I really want to know where the LAN events are going to be.
VIRTUSPRO might be thinking, because RAD, the first ever team to take a series off them in a best of 3, might be doing the same in a best of 5. It's gone the full
Will Jay go to
distance
China again for the
for
LAN?
this final
I
map,
don't even
and
know if
it's going to be Celestial Husk to decide.
Yo.
Scary thing, because if I'm thinking back,
VIRTUSPRO didn't win. If VIRTUSPRO won, it would be the game would be over. It would be 3-1.
Yeah, 7-0 so far this year. It's been good for them.
Yeah, I think like if you're VIRTUSPRO,
Rad could reverse sweep chat. If this was a this is why I love best of 5s. If this was a best of 3, VIRTUSPRO already won the first 2 games. The games would be over. But Rad won the next 2. This is not VIRTUSPRO. Rad won the next 2, so we're now tied 2-2. This is why best of 5s are amazing, bro. You have a chance to learn your enemy, come back, and reverse sweep and win, which is good.
Well, I think if you're Rad, you're just wanting to make sure that you get this gambit, you get this rogue mirror for you, because it's worked out so well so far.
I think Tetra, like, the main thing that has brought Rad back is just being able to mirror matchup with the gambit. Mash has had essentially 2 MVP performances. Matched together on Midtown, it was only Crazy Kitty that just eked him out a bit beforehand. He has not only been matched in Saibei, he's been surpassed him, and the rest of the team from Rad synergizing with Mash, with whether it's team ups.
I'm not cursing any team, bro.
It's been nothing short of exceptional.
Arsenal in FFs. Appreciate the massive 2 months of both of you guys. Absolutely insane. Appreciate it.
That's why we are in our 5th one here. But Mash has been finally beginning.
What would it take you to do a 24-hour stream? Oh no, chat. I'm sorry, man. We've done a subathon before, which lasted almost 3 weeks. But no, I'm not.
And now they're enabling
I'm
stuff
old.
like Smashness to just go absolutely crazy on stuff like the Star-Lord. We're starting to see the Wolverine being taken away to just keep adjusting into Daredevils, into stuff like the Winter Soldier.
If Rad wins, remember the turnout, chat. If Rad wins, a 1 to 20 return ratio. Only 134,000 to 2.6 million.
We sort of put Saibei in the timeout Groot ult earlier on in that last map. This team is coming together magnificently. We couldn't be happier just to cast it.
Just speaking of like the Ducky Groot, it has been respected consistently throughout the drafts, with bans out on both sides, making sure it's not going to be one-sided. But the last couple of games have just been VIRTUSPRO having access to the Wolverine whilst Rad don't. In the last game, it was the Thing, just right at the end, taken out. What element of this game, like Moxie, now that we're going away from like the objective game modes, is it the Vanguards, Duelists, or Strategists that are going to define this draft, or even just how these teams are playing? Because both these squads are just matching up, mirroring each other.
I don't think anyone should do 24-hour stream.
Doing well. So
24 hours is not that bad, but more than 24 hours is
like straight up
bad.
Your whole composition.
Also, I had 6
changes
hours.
If you get Gambit through. If you get
Someone's
Gambit through, you're
asking
going to be
for
playing
sleep.
Star-Lord, you're going to be playing Rogue, you're going to be playing Mag. You would potentially still like play Mag without the Gambit, but you wouldn't really want to play the Rogue. And
Staying
probably
up
wouldn't want to take
for a
the
very
Star-Lord
long
too,
time
especially if the other side
without
gets the
sleep
Gambit.
chat is
So,
actually
no,
really
a lot
bad
of
for your
what both of
body.
these teams are going to be playing is
It's
going to be
really.
determined
Have you
on
guys
that
ever
first
actually
save
read
slot. What I'm
the side
really
effects or
wanting
the
to see,
symptoms
though, is
if
that
for staying up
VIRTUSPRO
very
taking us to these Celestial Husks.
very
Remember, as we've said,
long periods
you
of time?
can find these
It's
dives, and they've
it's
been
actually
trying to go
really
for
not
the
good
dive.
for
They've also
you.
been trying to circumvent it with
It's
firing
really
the
not
Wolverine
good.
a little bit later on towards their attacking side of the last map. RAD were really prepared to deal with VIRTUSPRO's dive. Like, they had full counter dive
You
measures
get paid for this,
in
Jay?
place to the point that
Do I get
VIRTUSPRO
paid
only
for
started
streaming?
winning Hell's Heaven
Yes,
rounds
that's how I
when
make a
they
living,
swapped
yes.
off of it entirely.
Do I get
So I'm
paid by
looking at
Marvel
that
Rivals
and
to watch
thinking,
Marvel
do
Rivals
VIRTUSPRO
Ignite?
continue removing
No.
things like the Wolverine?
I'm doing it for the
so
love
that
of the game,
Venom
chat.
and Jeff with symbiotic shenanigans finds more value when we go to this round of domination.
Whilst this is a little bit more precarious ground for VIRTUSPRO, Tetra, I do remember going back to stage 2 of last year, FaZe almost beating VIRTUSPRO in a best of 5, but VIRTUSPRO just having a little bit of stamina to sort of win it out, and then they went on to win the grand finals by qualifying through that route, yada yada. We know the rest of the story, but it is like we have seen VIRTUSPRO in these
Whoever
moments
loses this
look
match,
iffy,
yes,
look
they
really
are
rough in some
out
these cases,
of the
but still
tournament.
able to win
Yes.
out best of 5s, and then
It is a
still go
double
on to win
elimination.
events
Both of
prior.
these teams
So
already lost
is
one,
it
so if they
different
lose
feeling for
again,
you this time? Do you think the VIRTUSPRO are just like, this is a
they're
blip
out.
on their radar, or do you feel like there's some element of the meta that's catching them out? Because looking at quick glances, people are saying Vanguards, right? Why is there no Deadpool Vanguard for Finzi? Why is Finzi being targeted? It just feels that that's only just the tip of the iceberg, right?
I think it would be foolish to like count VIRTUSPRO out. Like you said, they've looked.
I want
in
leg day to
past
cast.
stage
I
one,
think
they
I
need
think the
stage
casters are switching every
Stage
2
two,
games,
they came
so
very
you
close
guys will
to
be
losing
fine.
several series, and then you get to the global finals and they win almost everything with little difficulty. This is a team that we've been talking about just how quickly RAD learned and adjusted. That's VIRTUSPRO in a nutshell. What were their difficulties in stage
Yes.
1? The draft and a little
100
some of the
Thieves
dom
is still
match,
in the
they
tournament.
adjusted. They learn so quickly. It's just right now.
How are your
RAD have a little
predictions?
bit of a head start on the
Ooh.
adjustments for them. They have taken
I
the
said
lead in the quick
VIRTUSPRO was
stepping
going to win
over each other
3-0.
game of trying to take
Here we
that
are
head start
2-2.
in these drafts, and as such, VIRTUSPRO was still banning stuff away from RAD, whereas RAD are taking the tools from VIRTUSPRO and building on them.
Well, so for now, it's whether VIRTUSPRO, these bears, are going back into
Oh, how did my
hibernation,
interview
or
go?
whether they're
It
gonna
went really
continue
well. You
roaring
could go
through
back to the
losers
first
bracket
day and
for
see
RAD.
it.
Seeing
It was
if a
right
different
before
team
the
under
second
same
game of the day, right before
organization
100
could cause a
Thieves,
little bit
and
more
right after the
upset.
first game.
A perfect map to end this one on, guys.
I mean, it's a little bit of a blast from the past,
Ooh,
surely. I mean,
let's
we
get
talked
it.
about the fact that FaZe almost beat VIRTUSPRO on this one. Well, this was the map that VIRTUSPRO beat Chopped, actually, to push them out of contention for Atlanta. And that one went the whole distance, all 3 rounds, and came down to a Psylocke versus Psylocke elimination coming on out with Sparker
My
versus
favorite thing is
Tuzi.
that both
So
chat.
I
I'm
think
having
some
a
of these
great
players
day
from
so
RAD
far.
will be
Both
having a little
teams
bit of a
ban
flashback
Elsa.
as,
I am.
well, we're going to have
am
a
at
deja
peace.
vu in terms of our ban
I am
draft.
at
Elsa
peace.
instant ban, Gambit save, Loki reaction ban into Gambit mirror save.
What? That's crazy. It's the
Yeah,
exact
we're
same
feeling
thing.
daring today, huh?
It's
Ooh, the
hello?
rogue ban by
no.
VIRTUSPRO,
We're seeing
though.
VIRTUSPRO ban out the rogue,
That's
and now they might have to give up on their middle ban of Invisible Woman or Wolverine or Groot in order to make sure they still get that Loki removal here, because
Yeah.
they slipped it through. They take out the Vanguard Deadpool. They are giving RAD the
Ooh.
full option to go for that double Rage and Royal Flush. They were like, well, you let us play it. Let's see how you do. Do you have the chops? Pun intended.
I mean, do they go for the Loki save here if you're RAD? Or do you... Well, yeah, it's going to be the Loki save.
Yeah.
You're going for 2 casts of that Raging Royal Flush, but VIRTUSPRO, like, honestly here, they could just remove the Star-Lord. If you
Yeah, there
remove the
are other
Star-Lord,
options, but
then
not as
it's...
good as Star-Lord.
Yeah, it's like Gambit ult can still empower something like the Psylocke, right? Or potentially even the Phoenix, but they're going to
I
remove
was
the
gonna
Vanguard and
say-
send, oh my goodness, yeah, VIRTUSPRO are just like straight up targeting Lugia's Vanguard, just the whole hero
damn, they're
pool,
banning
to force him onto
Lugia
something,
out.
like, really
Lugia the goat is
uncomfortable. It
actually
does
the
mean, though, that
goat,
RAD will be
taking
able to
3
have
bans.
2
Chat.
casts
3
of Gambit ult
bans.
plus that Galactic Legend combination, but VIRTUSPRO safeguard Finzi's Captain America.
Oh,
RAD will be
Gorka,
removing
I already
Fly's
put my
Daredevil
opinions
in
on
response,
the CC
since they know that
abilities
there will be
on,
dive, and they do not want to
on
have
Twitter.
to deal with the Captain
I'm not gonna go
America
through this
having
whole
all of
rant
the
again, but I
information
think
of scouting the backline
displacement
before he even
abilities
shows up.
are not considered
Now let's see
CC.
what they look at. Looks like RAD are gonna
So a lot of the
potentially give themselves
displacement
an
abilities
access
in
to a
Marvel
Captain
Rivals are
America.
considered CC,
Gonna
so
be
it's
following in the
a lot of
footsteps
it's ruined.
VIRTUSPRO as they
Like
go for
Hulk,
their
for an
own
example. If you guys
protection
are
for
loving
Fitzy.
Hulk, if you're
But like you said,
booping
now
people
we
with
have
Hulk and whatnot, it's
asymmetrical
gonna count as
vision
CC,
gain
and then
on
they're
the
gonna get
side of
CC
RAD.
immune.
They have Crazy
So
Kitty. having access to
Displacement
that Daredevil,
is not
and
CC.
There wasn't a Star-Lord ban. VIRTUSPRO not going to be following that. Like I said, they single targeted
Displacement
onto Lugia
is
here,
not
so they
CC.
will be having access to double Raging Royal Flush if they want it, with a Star-Lord at the ready. Because right now, Vertigo is hovering.
Punisher's smoke grenade adds to the tenacity. That's not
Well, I mean,
CC.
if you're anticipating VIRTUSPRO going dive, like White Fox Gambit's actually a really good backline to be able to react to this, especially because VIRTUSPRO, while they don't have the Daredevil,
CC.
they do have the Venom, and Jitro is currently on Rocket, but that's likely going to change to Jeff to be able to have both the symbiotic shenanigan team up so that Nevix has more survivability, something which he's absolutely going to need if he's going into the blender of
Appreciate the
Spectral
massive
Surge
Prime sub,
charms
my friend.
the
Welcome,
moment
welcome.
that he shows on up, plus the range. Like, remember, these teams, they're playing on 7.0 patch. You're not playing on 7.5, so Jeff's fall-off has not been nerfed. But what's actually going to happen is we're not getting Jeff. Jidra's coming on
But
the
they count
rocket, so you've got
displacement
the
as
team up
CC
with
under
the
their
Star-Lord
system. That's
instead.
why I'm saying
Fight gets an additional
displacement is
iframe
not
plus the
CC.
ability to go force Rad to react to a Star-Lord ultimate and then blip out of that space entirely.
There's a lot of potential here for VIRTUSPRO, a lot of options to try force out reactions from Rad, and then of course an immediate
Say it with
blow
me,
off the
chat.
classic
Displacement
of Beast from the Abyss and the dance
is
of the
not
butterflies
CC.
from the Venom and the Psylocke. Ducky taking a lot of damage early on, but will get healed up as the team groups up. Lugia also getting tracked. The Sparker is just having a lovely time on the flank here, and Rad not used to this. It's been a bit since they're dealing with this particular style of flanking, whittling down of their front and back line before people get blown up. So they're forced to back
That's
up
not
a
CC,
little
chat.
bit, give some space,
Not
but they're
CC.
not giving up on the objective yet. They're still willing to take this fight.
I'm gonna do the best thing that I learned on the internet against you guys.
Venom, but Nevix is a little bit
I'm
too
right,
tanky.
you're
Gonna try
wrong.
and go for the retreat, but is caught on the
That's
way
what I
out.
learned on the internet.
Yeah,
I'm right,
VIRTUSPRO
you're
tries
wrong.
to take as many
Any
dives
argument,
as possible
I'm
in
right,
as
you're
many
wrong.
different places as possible. So if they get one hit onto Rad, if they lose a player early, it's just traded back with that BRB
Ingos.
kicking on through.
Ingos,
But
appreciate the
Rad are
massive 8
able
months.
to
How you
actually
doing?
just bunker up. They only lose one in the form
Go
of
ask
Crazy
any
Kitty. So
other
Mash
Marvel
staying up
Rivals
the
streamer.
whole duration of that fight means that you've got that Raging Royal Flush. You don't have
For what?
Galactic Legend.
I don't need to ask
just
anyone
yet,
anything.
But Rad might not go
What?
for the combination. They might just want the confidence, the confirmation that they can hit VIRTUSPRO before
I don't
Saipe
really
has the match.
care what other streamers think.
Looking to just build up some charge almost at that Dance of the Butterfly. Nevix into the backline for a little bit of setup, but no commitment yet. Don't want to get taken out of position. Dridro on that White Fox, keeping everyone topped up, but is a little bit behind Vertigo, of course.
Oh,
Sparker taken down by Crazy Kitty,
Sparker,
immediately
bro.
forcing the retreat out of the rest of VIRTUSPRO, but Rad don't want to give them the satisfaction, the distance, or the time, forcing the chase out.
Bro,
with that
Rad might
Galactic- with
win.
that Raging Royal
Rad
Flush.
might
And that
win.
forces VIRTUSPRO to
There's
regroup,
no
but now
way.
they have
There's no way
uncontested
Rad
Raging
wins.
Royal
I
Flush.
said VIRTUSPRO wins
Jiro's
this
off of the rocket
3-0.
too.
There's
You're on
chat.
the
I
White
might
Fox
actually
to
be
able
cursed.
to match Vertigo. Smashnet starts off with the Galactic Legend. No mag on the side of VIRTUSPRO. No Meteor Am to be able to absorb it. So it's Kite behind natural cover. Wait out it to be done, and then
This
come
might be a
back in
reverse
with
sweep.
your own Gambit Ultimate and Galactic Legend combo. Ducky with the Meteor Am absorbs it and actually turns the Meteor onto Sparker too, but you lose the mag for it. Vertigo allows Rad to be able to survive the brawl and reposition onto the point, allowing Crazy Kitty as well to send in the Let the Devil out, and VIRTUSPRO lose Saipe before Dridro can get the heal from with the Kumeho unleashed. Rad wanting to brawl it on point. They know that they're probably going to lose the long-term sustainability of VIRTUSPRO having
not
that
CC.
later White Fox ultimate, but they want to get as much point percentage as they possibly can before they do so, and they even force the Freedom Charge
But I
to
appreciate
52.
the massive dono, but it's not
Dridro
CC.
taken down by Crazy Kitty on that Daredevil, forcing out that Captain America ultimate for any kind of sustain because the strategists were forced off the point. It's enough for the flip, but we're still in overtime. Finally going to get ticked up. And Rad, they had the option to potentially portal, but with 3 people down, they instead choose to reset. They forced an overtime flip here. Rad with an incredible start in this domination map.
But what's really problematic for VIRTUSPRO is using that Freedom Charge. Because now, if you're Rad, well, you're 77% to Galactic Legend, you're 75% to Royal Flush, and VIRTUSPRO have no defenses against it. No mag, no Meteor Am to be able to try and just be a pseudo stand-in strategist ultimate. There's the dive coming on through, and yeah,
God.
that's what happens when you try and soft dive a White Fox team. Daredevil has all of the information too, perfectly reads out when Nevix is going to go for that hit, and no battle recall beacon to bring the Venom back. Mash has got the ultimate, Smashnez is ready to go. This should be able to zone VIRTUSPRO off of the point and allow by Rad to be able to find the flip.
They're trying to take it soft to begin with, but now they're pulling it once they've managed to get VIRTUSPRO to back up a little bit. Now they've got the team split in two. They think they can take down anyone on the point and force the flip. And they are right.
Ooh, that
VIRTUSPRO
combo is
point,
actually
forcing the
like
overtime,
not
but
good.
that is the Galactic
That's what's
Legend used up. Sparker has
pro
some
teams
butterfly,
when they
and
hear
it's gonna
that
have
combo.
to be
Usually in your
safe
ranked
for the
games,
next
people
round because
would
Rad
run out in the open and be like, "Oh, Star Lord shooting with Gambit ult, let me die." But in pro gameplay, bro, they kite beautifully and they don't even die.
And doesn't touch. They burn the
Saipei.
cooldown
I'm not
and
Saipei.
lose the point. That is
Sparker just
devastating
used his
for
ult again
VIRTUSPRO.
and the round ended.
Yeah, so
He just had another
unfortunately for VIRTUSPRO,
wasted
what ends
ult.
up happening, right, is Fi was the one contesting
Sparker,
point,
bro,
and
what?
he
Sparker's
goes
not having a
down.
good day.
Dance of the Butterflies.
Sparker
does
used
not
his
count
ult
as
and they
contesting.
C9'd again.
It's
Oh my.
It's the same as things like CD with Dark Teleportation, with the World Breaker Hulk, or any level of Hulk transformation too, because it gives you like that iframe, basically. You're invulnerable through the whole duration, but the game basically says, okay, you're not in the lobby. You're still able to do damage, but you're not counted as being physically present. So what that means is that VIRTUSPRO
this is
lose the round,
crazy.
and
If
now
VIRTUSPRO loses, they are
Dance of the
out of the
Butterflies, which
tournament,
would have been
chat.
so
Do you know
good
how
at
crazy that
forcing Rad's
sounds?
players to have to
Knowing
actually
how
stack
strong
up.
VIRTUSPRO
Now you have
has
a dive
been.
composition who can play as split as they want to, because they don't have to worry about leaving that backline to get
Dude.
shredded by a Psylocke.
0% Psylocke charge.
Think about that,
Nevix
bro. That's
95%. At this
insane.
point, you might as well just charge it and use it immediately. Just
That's
try and make sure it's at
insane.
least slightly back in sync with Sparker. As Rad, they have their feast from the abyss themselves.
That's
Duffy,
insane.
off the Magneto here is going to look at the group.
Oh,
Try
you're
and get some
mocking me,
control
huh?
as
Good
there's
morning,
always
good
on the
morning.
central point area for the lower
I try to stay
ground.
quiet for a long
It's gonna
time.
be Rad. Fighting through the low ground. VIRTUSPRO takes the high ground, trying to push
must
to the
be
back
nice to
line.
get sleep,
There's that
huh?
piece from the abyss, exactly as we
Wow.
think. It's interrupted,
Must be
though.
real
Nevix
nice.
on the half cooldown. Focus now, barely gets out of there
Nah.
alive. As Fi, Galactic
voice
Legends
is-
try and come in early.
I'm
The Jessie
dying.
from Dridro keeping
Did you know?
topped
Do you?
up
You're
beautifully.
missing a
As
really
they
great
go,
game.
Shenanigans
VIRTUSPRO's
is
losing.
also doing huge work on that first initial fight.
They won
And
the
Rad,
first two games.
they
Rad
have been
won the
able to
next two
hold
games.
through
This is
though,
match
without
5.
using
First
almost
game
a
of the
single
day.
tool other than Lugia goes feast from the abyss. The Devil's been unleashed with
If
VIRTUSPRO
Rad loses,
already
they are
using a lot
out
of
of the
defensive
tournament,
tools.
yes.
This
And they're
Jet
actually
gonna
down
be
1-0
forced
right
out
now in
for
comp.
some kind of healing output here.
Mash is getting targeted as well
Guess
by
what team I
Nevix.
thought
They
was
know
gonna win?
that this Gambit has the ultimate ready to go before Saipei, but Saipei falls, and Mash can just hold the ultimate. Rad's already been able to secure the eliminations
Oh
to
my
find the
God,
fight win.
chat,
They'll
the
have it for
kings,
this next
the
one, when
gods,
Smashness
they're
has
falling.
The Galactic Legend, which
The-
means
there
even
are-
if Saipei's
there's gonna
got
be
the match
new
of the Gambit
gods.
ultimate,
The gods
without
are
the match of
falling.
Galactic Legend, VIRTUSPRO still lose
Did
the
you guys
coin
know
flip unless
actually
they can take
in
Smashness down
history there is
early.
one god who has actually
Shout out
never
Saipei for the
lost? I don't know if it's
beautiful purify there against the Groot.
I don't know
Ultimate, but they
what
still lost the
god though
fight.
is.
Now they
Do you
just
know
have
that
to
one
charge
god who's
up. They
never
can't
lost and
afford to
always
take
is
down
on top?
early, but Mash can
You guys might have heard of it in your
mirror
history classes. J3.
For a high ground position to see if they can trap someone out of position to smash. Here comes the Raging
Yeah.
Royal Flush with the Galactic Legend.
True story.
combo as they push
Ask
on
any
in
history
to
person.
Try and chase them down off the point. Mash is once again just playing so aggressively here. They take down 3 members of VIRTUSPRO, and Rad continues to hold a
They
dominant
call him
position. On
J3 the
second
hairless.
point, VIRTUSPRO, they just can't seem to
That's
break
funny.
through.
Ban him.
The ult economy, though. VIRTUSPRO, like, they'll
Get that
use
guy
the
out.
ban hammer from Finzi because
Mods.
if you fall, you lose all of that ultimate economy. They held their Gambit ultimate. They've got Dance of the Butterflies. Feast of the Abyss 2 means that Nevix has a little bit more self-sustainability, but Crazy Kitty on the Daredevil reads the rotation coming on through from the side of VP.
Oh!
Dance of the Butterflies.
Sparker just used his ult again and killed nothing!
Just the Blaster Barrage
His
actually
third
coming on through
ult,
from
that's
Fi,
useless!
emboldened with that Raging
Sparker,
Roll
bro,
Flush from
you are the
Saipei is
grand
enough to back
grand
the
finals
eliminations.
MVP.
And VIRTUSPRO should
What's
be able to find the flip
happening?
fight, but Rad, they're not giving it up easy. Smashness comes back on the Strange, is likely going to try and teleport the team,
Are you
but it's
okay?
ever so
happened?
slightly late. The flips
happened?
already come through on the side of VIRTUSPRO, and that could mean later down the line, Rad have to play into an OT fight
Sometime-
without a Strange TP to get the regroup. Everyone is there for that Feast of the Abyss, stacking on up versus Nevix, but at the moment, if you're Rad, you don't have an ultimate ready to go. You're waiting for that Galactic Legend, or actually no, they can't go for the Galactic Legend combo. You're waiting for Mash's ultimate, but in the meantime, VIRTUSPRO take the initiative and the first turn, invading into Rad spaces so that when the Gambit ult comes through, everyone's a little bit too low to be able to push back.
Straggling Prison comes on out. They're able to take out Saipei on the backline, but it's everyone on RAD. They just did not have to sustain after losing 2 members early on. The White Fox Vertigo is doing everything they can to sustain them through this, but Lugiago is just not getting the healing they need to hold on in this fight. Crazy Kitty is trying to just dash away to look for a reset. They do not want to get caught out here. As VIRTUSPRO, they've managed to capture the point, and they are not letting it go. They have Dance of the Butterfly, they have Galactic Legend, and they're approaching their own Raging Royal Flush. Very
Yo, Jay,
separate from
appreciate
Bash,
the massive
who
dono,
will
my
not
friend.
be able to mirror them this
I'm not
Yeah, I
sorry.
think if you're
I'm
VIRTUSPRO as
not
well,
doing
like,
that,
you're
bro.
okay with
I'm
just
completely
letting
sorry.
RAD walk closer to you as opposed to trying to send Nevix in for an early hit with this Venom, since Crazy
I don't
Kitty
even
would be
have
able to
time to
scout it
do
out.
anything else
Vertigo
that
would be able to let the charm through with that White Fox, the thing that was able to interfere with the Feast of the Abyss in that first
Hey,
fight.
sometimes pros even have off days, chat.
Been able to scout out the backline
Sometimes
from
even
VIRTUSPRO,
pros have
fine
off
with
days.
the
Come on,
heal.
Sparker, bring it back,
Galactic
bro. Let me see a
Legend to
fat
get
ult
them
right here.
off his gambit. Symbiotic shenanigans comes on through from Jay3. Not an ultimate, but for the amount of healing that you can find, might as well be one. And RAD are taken out of that win condition of Let the Devil Out, having to rely instead on brawling on the point as we're about to hit into OT with the Kumeho Unleashed. Smashness with the damage on top of it. Galactic Legend, but no elimination. Saipei was safe, comes back with that Gambit ultimate, and VIRTUSPRO push forward to take second stage.
Looks like we're going to be evening this up.
Oh
in
my
number
god.
5,
Oh
and
my.
VIRTUSPRO
The chat. This is
holding
literally the
it
grand
together.
finals,
Pulls the
that
point,
seems
and with
like.
no portal
This
available
literally
due to being
feels like the
earlier,
grand finals. We
heading
are going
to
to
a
the
third
last
point
map
in map
of the King of the
5
Hill.
to decide who will
Oh
continue
my
their journey
god.
through this lower bracket. VIRTUSPRO, was it Lugia who was the
Sadly,
problem?
there
Because
is
they're
no
holding
match.
it
There is
together.
no other game. It's not a
The
best
fact
of
is,
7,
that we're
chat. I
going to
wish it was a
Codex.
best of 7.
We
but
talked about, you know, the Chopped versus VIRTUSPRO for who would be
Damn.
able to come out with that last spot. To
Damn,
Atlanta.
bro, if-
Yeah, no, that was decided on this very sub-map of Celestial Husk. So this is very much deja vu coming on for on the side of RAD. But it does mean that there's going to be a little
These
bit more
games are
dive
crazy, man.
opportunities.
These
This
games
map
are
very
crazy. These
much
are some of the
open, but
best
now that
esport
we get
games
that
I've ever
Jeff
seen in
coming
my
on through
life,
from
and I've been
Jay3,
watching
Nevix
a
has
lot of
lot more
esport games, chat. I
survivability,
actually,
even when he's getting
I'm
scouted
considering
out
taking
early
my
by
shirt
the
off.
Daredevil's radar
That's how
sense,
good this is.
because he has that Jeff just healing him up from afar, or with the team up, he's able to survive the scrutiny.
It comes down to this. 1 point for pre-season survival. Otherwise, they're going to be waiting.
Yo,
until
production,
stage 1,
production. You
almost
guys
a
took
month
away the sound
away
again.
for them
Production.
to get another chance at some glory here in EMEA.
Production.
Lugia sticking with this Venom themselves. Vertigo's been putting on an absolute clinic on this White Fox, but needs to hold it as Ducky gets absolutely gagged up on. The healing attempt comes in, but Vertigo just falls on the sword as well. VIRTUSPRO with their own aggressive engage on RAD. They're going to be getting Shikigami flashbacks as they once again
I
fall
hope-
prey to a portal engage.
I don't
Yeah,
chat. This is the
VP
last
just
round.
being able to just roll through that fight
But
with the portal
I hope
and symbiotic
RAD
shenanigans
does
at the
not
start of the round to make sure
disband
that there
or
are
like
no
leave.
trades.
I hope they
Pick
stick
up the
together as
first
a
point,
team,
have
because
not been
even
able
though
to
if they
display
do
Smash,
lose
though,
and get
and
kicked
he
out of the
will have
tournament, they
first
are
cast
looking
of
like
the
a
Raging Roll Flush that Rad could
fantastic
use to make a
team,
play,
and I'm a
try
fan.
and push VP
I
out
hope
of
they
this
stick together.
position. Finzi very close to that ban hammer, might place it onto the Gambit, but not before the ult comes on out. Dridra with the It's Jeff might be able to find the E. Vertigo utilizes that teleport, puts the pressure onto the strange tail sweep, takes out Nevix. We get the ban hammer, Mash going low, the Fox having to turn around and peel Spectral Surge, looking to chum up the Deadfall, so he's just not able to complete the eliminations on the backline. But Sparker takes advantage of the split, comes through with Dance of the Butterflies, and starts softening these players up long enough that he can just complete the elimination with the dash through after the ult's done.
Fires down as well, though, so we're seeing RAD at least trying to keep some contention here. Mash making their way back in to try and keep the team topped up because Ducky is extremely low, as is Crazy Kitty with the backline taken down. VIRTUSPRO, they see blood in the water. They seize the advantage, and they keep control. It was close, but with the strategists being the ones to fall on the side of RAD, it was sustained that one out for VIRTUSPRO. Holding on for just a little bit longer. They hit 60%, but RAD, they have Feast from the Abyss, they have Galactic Legend, 59% of Raging Royal Flush.
Come on,
which falls
Rad.
short of
Come on,
Saipei
Rad. You
73,
guys have
meaning
went this
VIRTUSPRO
far,
have one of
bro.
the big
You guys have
advantages,
went
and
this
still
far.
worry about
Don't
Nevix
end
on those
like
flanks.
this.
Yeah, here comes that Galactic Legend. This time from VIRTUSPRO, though, just stopping RAD from being able to take space, forcing them to have to basically take cover behind Ducky's Iron Curtain. That means that we're in almost last fight territory now, and RAD have not been able to take their space. They didn't lose anyone, though. The kite was good, so now we get both the Star-Lord and the Gambit ultimate. They should be able to sweep this fight. VIRTUSPRO have very little to be able to stand in the way.
Okay, they're showing some signs of life. They're showing some signs of life, chat. There we go, there we go.
RAD had to burn both the Gambit and the Solid ultimate, and you're at 94%. All you have to do for VP is come through with Gambit and Heartbreaker, because Nevix has swapped to the Rogue. He's done with the Strange. You've got the team up. Hearts as one, and this could be the thing that allows VIRTUSPRO to finally get past that checkpoint.
Here comes the Raging Royal Flush, Feast from the Abyss to try and capitalize, to try and take them down early, chasing them all the way. In the meantime, Vertigo comes into the Kumiho Unleashed to keep the team topped up, but is going to be ticked out of it so quickly. That's all the healing output they could have.
Oh my god.
To the backline, though, takes out Fi. Smash
they're even. They're even.
With all of the healing
Sparker
output
is
Sparker. From RAD. Ducky's dropped low, holds on for as long as he can, but VIRTUSPRO's damage output is overwhelming here. They're pushing on through RAD, who are desperately throwing bodies at the point to buy
what the
time.
hell is going on with the point, bro?
To give them any opportunity they can to delay this.
It's not over yet, chat. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
That fight. Portal comes
it's not over yet.
They don't even use it as a protective portal here. It's just straight onto the point to try and buy as much time as possible. Meteor M for the backline.
Do they hit? Do they hit? Do they hit? Oh my god, Ducky, come on! I need you to be LeBron James, Ducky. Not Tony Snell in overtime.
Charging up 53% for Saipe.
Why is Tony Snell on the court?
Use it at the right time because MASH is already at the
Come on, bro.
Yeah, they weren't able to pick MASH.
Hey, RAD does have Gambit ult though, chat. That's really good. They just used Gambit ult. You can't hear it, but they said Gambit never folds.
They know that VIRTUSPRO have no defense.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Approach, right?
Oh my god, VIRTUSPRO needs a TP. They need a TP. VIRTUSPRO needs a TP. TP. Any TP?
With great ultimate economy in this
TP. It's like Florida after before a hurricane. Is there any TP? They're going to spawn to try to cancel the TP. Any TP?
Then VP might be in a really bad position to actually get a touch.
Oh my god! They might win! They might win! RAD wins! RAD wins!
Knock them out of preseason!
Oh my god! Dude, the channel points! The channel points, chat!
Stage 1.
RAD wins! Oh my god!
VP knew exactly what to do. Lose early, portal back in, utilize your Raging Royal Flush that was at 70%. RAD, they know exactly what that's what they need to do because they just did it. They run at them by 2 isolated members, force them off the teleport before they can reinforce, and RAD move on. I'm pretty sure at this point everyone's predictions are in tatters.
My prediction was RAD. No, my prediction was VIRTUSPRO coming first. Oh my god.
Deviated path from the previous chopped versus VIRTUSPRO matchup. What a play coming through from them. We talked about, like the skill gap, just like shortening between all of the teams in EMEA, and you truly do feel
let me turn this down real quick.
To catch up. The amount of improvements that they had as
you guys don't understand.
2.6
million 142 people voted VIRTUSPRO winning. 40 people for only 100,000 channel points. 5%. 5%. A 1 to 20.5 return ratio.
This is RAD learning. We talked about it. They adjusted.
I want to see this. I want to see this. If you put $20,000 on RAD, you just won $410,000. If you put $5,000 on RAD, you won $103,000. If you put $10,000, you won 205,000 channel points. Oh my god.